The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, December 23rd, 2020, our last day of a live show this week. And I'll tell you what, these 3 hours are about to be fucking lit. We're going to have a good one today, I think. Have a conversation with AJ Hawk. He's going to be joining us early at about 1:30, so about an hour and a half here on the Eastern Standard Time. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network and NFL.com will be joining us in the third hour. We'll be taking your phone calls. 1-888-MAD DOGS. Yeah, that's Tom Pelissero, by the way. Just put up a picture there, not too shabby.
Wrong one.
Yeah. This one is a Christmas card that he and his wife and dog sent to Jimmy Fallon like a few years ago, I assume, 6 years ago.
Yep.
And he won the Christmas card competition with that face, I'd assume, is the reason why they won. I'm not saying the dog isn't awesome and the sweater vests aren't bad, the Christmas sweater vests aren't bad, and his wife looks incredibly enthusiastic and joyful and all that. But Tom's face is just something that, by the way, it looks the exact same.
Oh, yeah.
This was allegedly 6 years ago. Is that what, 2014? Tom has not aged a single day.
No, he
He looks amazing, but we need that dumbass face on this show at least one time. That's amazing. Cannot wait to talk to the Arrow. Cannot wait to talk to you. Jerry Jones made some comments about a little self-awareness comments we heard down in Dallas in a conversation with RJ and Shay. It's a local show down there. We'll give them credit whenever it comes up. We apologize for not knowing it exactly right now. Jerry Jones was talking about him being a GM and GM. James Harden was in a booty club just the other night in Vegas on Monday night. Got a good Christmas gift there, though. Dior luggage bag, which is a great place to give your Christmas gift, is an adult ballet. We'll talk about that. The NBA did start yesterday. Steve Nash and the boys over there in Brooklyn seem to be hot. Kevin Durant had a hilarious post-game interview after going off. I think Kevin Durant had 10 points in the first 55 seconds or 2 minutes or something like that. He's coming back. Charles Barkley, who is signed with FanDuel, shout out to Charles Barkley. He put a $100,000 bet on Portland, I believe, representing the Western Conference in the finals. He also got one word answered by Kevin Durant. I mean, the NBA drama is just kicking off and it's only getting started. But tonight, Zion debuts as the guy for the Pelicans. He'll be introduced last. Can't wait to see what he does this season. In the football world, we got a game on Christmas coming right around the corner. Listen, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. There'll be some bowl games. Today there's some bowl games. The boys are pretty hot and they're gambling in bowl games. But on Christmas Day, the day that Jesus popped out of that lady who was a virgin in the middle of a barn, we'll be watching Saints at Vikings. Nope. Vikings at Saints. Saints are favored by 7. Will they be able to figure it out, or will the Vikings go in there and gritty all over New Orleans? The no fans in New Orleans has taken away from the New Orleans Saints home field advantage, which was a big one. Their fan base was insane. They were loud. It was obnoxious. It was awesome. Now there's no fans, but this does give a chance for Drew Brees to throw in the dome and sling the thing around. Last week it looked like the ball was floating a little bit for him. Will he be able to get back into form? Will they win by at least a touchdown over the Minnesota Vikings, who have been very hit or miss this year? I mean, that's just how they've been. We'll talk about that today a couple times. I assume we'll make some bets. Also, big games this weekend. Saturday, Bucks at Lions. That's right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady heading up to Detroit to take on the Lions. And the Lions are a team, if you do recall, they got no coach. They got no coach. They just hired Chris Spielman in there to be an advisor to the Ford family to figure out what the fuck's going on. They're going to need a lot of advising to turn that thing around. But they got Danny Amendola up there. Danny Amendola told Tom Brady on his Instagram post that here's the garage code. He can stay at the house. Does Danny Amendola miss Tom Brady?
Yeah. Wow.
So we just piece that together.
Pretty good.
Matty Stafford. Is this the last time we see Matt Stafford on television as a Lion? Potentially. I mean, that is, all signs are potentially pointing to that, especially if you listen to a guy named Chad Brown in Denver on a radio show talking about the state of the Detroit Lions. They think he's going to move on. Also on Saturday, 49ers at Cardinals. Who cares about that game, really? Cardinals have to win. Will Kyler Murray show up? We hope so. He's electrifying to watch whenever he plays well. DeAndre Hopkins makes insane catches. The Cardinals are only favored by 5.5 against his 49ers team, and that's because old Shanahan gets the job done. They just signed Josh Rosen off the practice squad from Tampa Bay to be on their active squad. Is Josh Rosen playing against the goddamn Arizona Cardinals, or is Josh Rosen potentially losing a Super Bowl ring if the Buccaneers go into the wasteland that is San Francisco 49ers at 2020 team for the last 2 weeks?
Look out for Rosen. Don't let him spin.
Hey, the Rosen one had a hot tub in his dorm room in freshman year at UCLA. He was a high draft pick, obviously. It didn't work out in Arizona. Then he got traded for a bag of balls, go down to Miami on draft night. Then he moves out of Miami, gets released. He's on the streets a little bit. They signed him to go to Tampa. Now he's going to San Fran with Shanahan, who a lot of people say can make any quarterback good except for Nick Mullins. Will he be able to play? Will Josh Rosen get on the field? I'm excited for it. Probably just hand the ball off the entire time anyways. Ty, why are you shaking your head?
They got C.J. Beathard. They got the best quarterback in the room still available.
How come? Hey, by the way, 55-yard ball right there at the end of the game.
Yeah, guess what? Great relationship with Kittle. I mean, I don't know what Shanahan's doing. Nick Mullins stinks. Bench him. Let C.J. spin.
Okay, maybe get a Hawkeye on the field over there for the Niners. Dolphins at Raiders also on Saturday. A lot of playoff implications in that one, pal. Hey, Gumpy, Dolphins at Raiders on Saturday night. Listen, Yin's fake or real? Are the Fins fake or are the Fins for real? We're going to find out on Saturday night, one day after Jesus' birthday. Ain't that right, Gumpy?
We win out. We're in the playoffs, Pat. No, everyone wants to talk about the Ravens this, Ravens that. If the Fins win out, it doesn't fucking matter.
Who do the Fins play other than the Raiders?
We got the Raiders, and then we're hoping to play a Bills team that might have Matt Barkley at the helm.
Okay, so maybe a beat-down Bills team that doesn't have to win. They don't have to play. They can rest their players because they're probably not going to get the bye in the first round, obviously, especially at this point with Kansas City going the way they're going. So maybe you will get a team that just lays down there the last week. Big game against the Raiders. Somehow, allegedly, Derek Carr is potentially going to play in this game.
What?
That's what they're saying. They're saying it's going to be a game-time decision between Mariota and Derek Carr. What happened to him in that game?
I have no idea.
Prime-time game. He's jogging. He turns, and then all of a sudden it's and then he's out of the game.
Yeah.
Didn't come back. Okay. It wasn't like he had cramps. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it wasn't anything like going on with that. Everybody assumed he popped his groin.
Right.
And if you pop your groin, that's going to be like a couple months, bring that whole thing back. You got to do all this Kegels exercise. You got to get the thing. Here we are, a week later? Less than a week later, I guess, if it's Saturday night. And he's more than a week. But he's going to be back playing? What the fuck happened? Is there any questions on how he left the game, why he left the game, what the injury was? Have we got any update on any of that?
Well, no, you said the day after, you're like, that's probably the last game we'll see him in a Raiders uniform. And I just figured, he's not going to play for and also, if he is coming back, is he going to be hobbled at all? You'd rather have Mariota, he looked great last game.
Hey, if you're Derek Carr, you do not want Mariota playing, by the way.
That's why he's coming back.
What, he just healed his groin?
Well, he saw what Mariota did, and he said, shit, if I don't get it back out there right away, then I'm never going to play football again.
Okay, so we got football Christmas Day, Saturday, Sunday, all-day lineup. Colts Steelers is the big game that day. You got Jim Nance and Tony Romo on the call. Cannot wait. That's 1 o'clock, obviously, on CBS. Other notable games happening. Titans at Packers. That's going to be a big one. That could be tough for the Packers, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. A lot of shit coming out about the Packers not beating anybody with a winning record, by the way. Like that's their fault. But that's the new topic of conversation around the hot take takers is Jets and Jaguars got more wins against winning teams than the goddamn Packers do. That's kind of the hot take taker stats right now.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you can't control who you play. And it's not like they're squeaking by a lot of these dog shit teams. They're beating the piss out of them. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Falcons at the Chiefs. Will Matt Ryan play like he played in the first half? And does it matter? Chiefs are favored by 10.5. Monday Night Football, you got Bills, Patriots. There's a lot on the line for that, for one team, not for the other. A lot of people would think at this point in history would tell us that the team that's home in that game, the Patriots, they would be the ones that are potentially playing for playoff positioning, standings, and home field potentially going through there. But instead, it's the opposite way around. Patriots are dead. Buffalo Bills are going to town. And the Buffalo Bills fans, they won the Fans of the Year contest. So they were allowed to put a billboard up anywhere in the country, basically celebrating that. I think it was Bud Light fan contest, and they chose to put their fan billboard contest championship billboard up in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they won the NFL on Fox Ultimate Fan Bracket. The prize was a billboard anywhere in the world. Interesting. Could have put that thing anywhere in the world.
Great wall.
Grow the game.
I'll tell you what, if you want to put that somewhere where people see it, you put it in Wuhan because they're back.
Bingo.
Like, put this billboard out in Wuhan because motherfuckers are out there just partying. They can see the billboard all over the place. But, of course, Bill's Mafia chose Foxborough, Massachusetts, right in time for that Monday Night Football game. You think Bill Belichick's going to let these fans just dance on his fucking hometown like that?
Exactly. You want to talk about bulletin board material? Belichick's going to be coming in there. He'll probably rip some of that sign down and show the boys, hey, you see what they're doing out here? You see what they're doing to Foxborough? Let's go out there and kick their ass, and we'll lose by a touchdown.
I don't know if Bill will do any of that. It seems like, and I've been getting quoted all over New England, and people have been coming after me now, all these radio people up in Boston, talking about, a punter has his opinion. Okay, it's tired. That's lame. I'm smarter than you are, better than you are at your job, so shut the fuck up. But what I said about Bill Belichick is accurate. Things have been happening this year that don't happen in a Bill Belichick world. Like the situational shit. That is how the Patriots won for so long. This past week, there's a couple different situations that were just not executed well at all, which led me to believe that is Bill potentially not coaching as hard as he has in the past.
Oh, well, those guys in Boston obviously are stooges. They thought Stidham was going to start over Cam Newton, so, whatever
is that
they say.
they are?
Yeah.
They said that.
Hey, look, until Cam Newton came to town, I was pounding the Stidham drum, but when he walked in the door, I knew, hey, all right, there's QB1 right there.
All right, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, NFL football. How you fucking doing?
Let's go!
Pretty excited about that. Also, bowl games all damn day in between.
Come on.
This is a good time to be alive here. At Viva Lazito's on the couch. Do you have a poll today?
Oh, yeah. It came out last second. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Who should win the NFL MVP right now?
Excuse me, the MVP?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
What did I say?
Well, there was letters there for sure, but it sounded like maybe one or two letters. There was definitely not three.
I might have blurred those together. I apologize.
That's all right, but you can see what you're talking about. We can't. So just
That's on me.
MVP, who's going to win it?
So last place right now, Derrick Henry, 8.2%. Then we go to Josh Allen, 9.9%.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, 18.4%. And our boy Aaron Rodgers, rest him next week, 63.5%.
Wow. For A-Rod winning the vote of the people, over 1,000 people voted. We just put this thing up. Excited to see how this thing pans out because the Chiefs' kingdom will wake up at some point and get alive. Mm-hmm. Bill's Mafia also might go crazy. Yeah. If we can get that airport arrival crowd to get onto this poll, that'd be the biggest poll we've ever had. You kind of set this up, Patrick Mahomes, the first choice, and then Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Is that just how the odds were, or is that how you kind of want Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, some betting website had the odds like that.
Oh, okay.
Attaboy, Z.
Attaboy, Z. Attaboy, Z. Go! Look at you getting down with the betting odds, Zito.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, big game this weekend. Are they Sunday Night Football?
Yeah.
Against the Titans?
Mm-hmm. Man.
The Titans have been rolling. Okay?
For sure.
And by rolling, I mean Derrick Henry has been running over people, through people, and scoring a lot. If that Green Bay Packers defense, this is one of our live bets that we like. Couple live bets that we like over here. Michael Lombardi has been on this one early. You watch Jared Goff, the first series, second series, see how his face looks. If he looks confident, bet on the Rams. If he looks like he's a little bit confused, hammer against the Rams on a live betting option. For the Titans, if it's the first or second quarter and you're seeing Derrick Henry spring some runs, go ahead and hammer them live. That live bet on the Titans because it's only going to get worse in the third quarter. It's only going to get worse in the fourth quarter. Because run game is one of those things where, I guess at halftime they could change their scheme a little bit. But ultimately, stopping the rush, I think if you talk to anybody that's had to do it, I have not had to do it. Although I have made tackles. It's a lot of will and a lot of want to almost, and covering your gap and discipline and everything like that. So if you see Derrick Henry rolling in the second quarter, which has been happening the last few weeks, you just go ahead and know the Titans are going to continue this dominance for the rest of the game because the defense is not going to go in halftime and figure out okay, I want to go get run over by Derrick Henry. That is not something that's going to happen. I'll be intrigued to see how this Packers defense plays against them in the first half and then in the second half and see how this whole thing goes.
Yeah, I would assume, I don't know what his over-under rushing total is. Hammer the over. I would assume he's going to crush it. But we'll see. Lombardi has talked all year about how, and I haven't watched enough Titans games to really know that well. I feel like all I see is just Henry running all over people, but their defense isn't great. So if the Packers can get 1 or 2 stops early and score on 3 consecutive possessions and go up 21-0, like that's how they're going to have to win.
Okay. I'm excited to see how it plays out. We'll talk about it as the show goes on. AJ Hawk will be joining us about an hour and 14, 13 minutes or so. At Tone Diggs, not here today. He started feeling sick yesterday afternoon. Went home, got tested this morning for the vid, told him to stay home. He's taking a nice early Christmas trip here. Hopefully he's safe, by the way. Hope the boys are safe. We've also gotten tested. A few of us in the office have gotten tested this morning. We feel pretty good. Feel great, by the way. Really appreciate everybody for, this year. It's been a wild year. There was a time where people were only watching this show where sports were stopped completely. Like there was no sports. There was nothing really to talk about. And people continue to watch and listen and everything like that. Who would have thought that we would make it to Christmas? Here we are, by the way.
With NFL football.
With NFL football. We're at Christmas. Here we are. Like, how pumped. I mean, I'm pumped.
That's a good gift.
I mean, the odds on us making getting to NFL football on Christmas had to be so ridiculously low whenever this whole thing was starting. Remember, Dana White put out the video about what everybody was saying about him continuing to put on fights at the Apex and everything, and how, basically it was like, there's blood on the streets, there's blah, 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 the world's upside down, all this shit. And they put on fights. The things that were being said about the NFL was bad. Like the people that didn't want the NFL to work, the things that were being said at the beginning of this whole thing were bad. Oh, they're not doing a bubble. They're greedy. They're looking for money, their pocketbook, as opposed to health and safety. A lot of players opted out of playing this season. Yeah. And here we are, Christmas Day. They had to shuffle some games. They did have some outbreaks. They had everything like that. But here we are, still going along, and I am fucking pumped about it. Bravo to the NFL for figuring this out, and to all the players that know it takes all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Good
Now there has been some moments of forgetfulness. Dwayne Haskins got his face in some booty cheeks with no mask just the other day.
Dewey.
He said he apologized. He said he'll learn from that and
Owned
move
up
on.
to it.
Okay, he said it was immature and everything like that. Okay, so hopefully he'll be able to do that. He doesn't have COVID though, I guess, right? We would have learned if he got COVID somehow.
Probably.
So that particular strip club, I don't know where he was, Adult Ballet, they are COVID free for those in the area. Good for them. Congrats to them. Social distancing, I'd assume, in times and everything like that. And James Harden also was in the in the Adult Ballet in Vegas just the other day, Monday night. So we'll see how this whole thing pans out with the NBA this season. Watching last night with them in their own arenas with no fans, it was, because I kind of got used to the bubble.
Yeah.
I kind of got used to the bubble there.
Weird.
And then you watch this game last night, and it's like, oh, they're back in their arenas.
The Staples Center.
Oh, okay, we're back in the Staples Center. That fucking Nets team looks like they're going to be really good. And they are going to be difficult to the media.
Oh, yeah.
And I am here for it. And I think Steve Nash, by the way, perfect guy to be the coach there. I think he's going to be like, hey, if we want to tell everybody to go fuck themselves, I'm cool with that, dude. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. What were we going to say, Gumpy?
I was just saying, if Alex Smith is still out, we don't know yet. We could be in for Dewey Haskins' stripper revenge game on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Here we go.
We were talking about basketball there, Gump. I mean, we were in Steve Nash, which is a Canadian, by the way.
He's a Steve Nash Victoria boy, but Dewey Haskins, stripper revenge game.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Let's get to Shane in Virginia, and then let's get to a break here. Gumpy, I mean, I know, like, you guys potential, Flintstone cars up there. But don't need you just taking both your feet, shoving them underneath the car, and just taking the conversation to a complete halt. And then walk that car backwards. You know what I mean? The Dewey Haskins Stripper Revenge game is a good title, but it would have came up again. You know what I mean? At that point, we had you love NBA basketball. We're talking about a fucking Canadian in basketball. I mean, Gumpy, that was a layup of a potential thing right there, Gumpy. And instead, you just and went backwards on that thing.
That'll happen, Pat.
All right, Shane, what's going on in Virginia? God damn, I thought we had
Hey,
some
Pat.
Steve
Hey,
Nash.
boys.
Yeah,
I want to say thank you all for doing what you do. I listen to you all every morning going out to base for work. Thanks for keeping me entertained in all that traffic.
Hey, thanks for your service, sir. Which branch of the military?
I'm in the Navy.
Okay, we don't know their chant, but we appreciate the hell out of your service, sir. Stay safe over there. We appreciate everything you got going on. Thanks for listening. Not every show's good. Some are okay, but we appreciate the hell out of you. What are you going to talk about, bub?
I just want to talk about the disrespect Miami's getting recently and their playoff push. Who gives a fuck about the Ravens? get a healthy Miami, see what they did, on their last legs against the Chiefs. What are they going to do against every team in the NFL when they're healthy?
You're damn right, Shane Gumpy. Anything to say about Dwayne Haskins?
No, that's what I've been saying. I said that already earlier. Dolphins get no respect around here.
Oh, we're talking about the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. I didn't know if you wanted to go. You know what I mean? Look at him, he's shrugging. He's shaking his head and rolling his eyes.
Just give Dewey a chance.
All right, let's go to Steven in Oregon. What's going on, Steven?
Hey, what's up, Pat? Long-time watcher, first-time caller. Thanks for having me in. Shout out to the boys as well.
Hey, thank you, Buzz. Shout out to you. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Hey, boss. So I was just thinking, and you just brought this up with all the people holding out, with how reckless, ruthless the NFL is, the coaches, the owners, and it is a business. How do you think the NFL is going to handle the players who opted out this season and affected their teams, especially when you think about how much it affected the Patriots with their receivers?
Great question there, Steven, because whenever the players opted out, they were told that it would be nothing and would be held against them. But when you're talking about humans, it's hard to reprogram. Now, for the great players that held out, be who you can afford to be, that won't be a problem. But if I don't even know the entire list of who opted out of this season and everything like that, but if you weren't a superstar, I would assume that even though they were told it wouldn't get held against them, they had to know that somebody's going to remember this probably, and this might affect something in the future. It's just like voluntary workouts where it's these are voluntary workouts, but if you don't go, playing time is also voluntary and optional as well. So it's there's always that double side. I think the NBA said the same thing about the bubble. If you guys choose not to go, we won't hold it against you. We're just trying to get a season done. And everybody's like, well, that's very nice of them. And it is in theory. And I do believe the NBA and the NFL, whenever they said that, they did mean that. They're like, hey, but whenever you think about the humans that are making decisions that are the gatekeepers to get into the NFL, it'd be hard, I assume, for some of them to completely erase that from their memory and be like, hey, this was one of the guys that didn't want to play that season whenever there was a chance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And listen, they're not supposed to do that, right? The NFL said they're not allowed to do that, can't hold it against them. But if you just think about humans making decisions, that is going to come into play at some point.
For the Patriots, Marcus Cannon, one of their linemen who opted out. Our line has been unbelievable. A rookie got an opportunity, and he's played great. And Cannon counts $15 million against the cap next year. So it's would you just cut Cannon because he's got 1 year left on his deal and he sat out, and you got this new rookie coming in, or do you eat it with the reduced cap?
Cannon. The interesting thing about that is, the old story of Wally Pipp.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Wally Pipp had a beer or two, one night, and then next day, too hungover, couldn't do his job. And then old son of a bitch
Lou Gehrig
came in and played that son of a bitch was starting for the next 15, 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Wally Pipp ain't seen the field since. That son of a bitch hasn't even played catch since that day because he was a little bit too hungover, couldn't play. That happens in the NFL at every position. If you have a little bit of a tweak or something. For instance, when I got suspended for a game because of an alleged incident, that punter went in there. I was watching. Okay, I hope he does well. Good of the team. All right, hey, for the good of the team, I hope this guy does well. But also, I know if this dude does pretty good, I'm probably out of a goddamn job.
Yeah.
So you're kind of watching that thing with double side. That's how it is in professional sports. I would assume the opt-out thing will come into play at some point, but also the salary cap not going up could come into play with a lot of people as well and could be disguised under that world, as we also have to think about the people who potentially opted out getting, judged for it, which you're not supposed to do it.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Hey, don't judge them. But if you're going to sign a check for $10 million, and how can you not have that in the back of your mind? We got through an entire NFL season. We had full teams everywhere, and this guy did not want to play. Listen, hey, he thought it was safe for his family. He's got to do what he's got to do. But for my family, with my job depending on it, is that a guy that I want that would definitely come in here and go to bat for us or go to war for us if he had to? Theoretically, not actual war, okay? There's a lot of things. I'm trying to dance around this, right? Because although the NFL says can't judge them for it, and the players are making decisions that they feel are best interest for their team, now that we're at Christmas, week 16, week 17 coming, and we've been able to get here, and there's been full teams, right? It's going to be hard, I think, to not hold that against some people. But there'll be some GMs, which is all you need one, to be like, hey, you did what you had to do. You do it. Come on in here and play.
How many of those guys do you think regret doing it? I think so. I think about Devin Funchess a lot, with the Packers. He needed kind of a year to prove that maybe he can get another contract. Rodgers throws 40 touchdowns. If he doesn't opt out, he maybe catches 8 or 9 of those. And if they don't re-sign him, he might get another deal somewhere else. And I think now with him opting out, he's done. He'll be lucky if he gets another shot.
I thought about that a few weeks ago. Because I completely forgot about players opting out, by the way. Because I just completely forgot that players weren't playing, and then somebody mentioned re-brought up how the Patriots have like everybody in their defense also opted out. So it's not like they just lost people from contracts and everything like that. Also, like 3 of their star players were like, yeah, we're not playing, by the way. See you later. Are those guys going to play again? Are they going to retire? What are they going to do? How are they going to get going? And then I started thinking about players that like Funches, or there was a couple other players that opted out that they weren't made men or whatever. I'm like, this year, there's a lot of guys that have played and made, I think, some money for themselves. These guys, it's all going to be interesting like 10 years from now, whenever these players look back on whether or not they made the right decision. And that'll be whenever we find out what COVID does to you 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Because 15 years down the road, COVID could be doing, elbow drops. But have we learned if any of those guys who opted out got COVID?
I don't think so. I think it was kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Because could you imagine if they opt out and then like the first week they get COVID? They're like, son of a fucking bitch. What was it? The delivery man? Ha!
Where are my pads?
God, should have just played. Got the antibodies. By the way, now there's not just only a vaccine, there's also a booster you need.
Oh, a boost.
I did not know that.
Like a patch that like makes you faster? Or?
Yeah, I think it's like a shot. I think it's like a 5-hour energy booster.
With B12.
Yeah, it's like a vaccine.
Hangover cure.
Yeah, they call it Vax Plus.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is it like monthly subscription based?
No, you only need it one time.
Okay.
You probably will pay a subscription fee because it'll be at a price where you don't see it. It'll just kind of get charged your shit every single time, and you won't know until you change your credit card or your credit card gets stolen by somebody that you potentially paid for something. Which, by the way, shout out to somebody stealing my credit card information because I got out of a lot of subscriptions that I forgot I was in. I started getting emails. You have not renewed your payment, or we need to change your thing. And I'm like, I was subscribed to that. That must have been 6 years. That must have been 6 years I've been subscribed.
Got you good.
Hey, good for them.
Yeah.
But you ain't getting me again, sons of bitches. You know why? Because somebody else robbed me, and I found out about this whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just take a shot. I guess you get the vaccine, which we have people in this office whose significant others work as nurses and stuff. They're not even getting vaccines.
Not yet. I think some are. I really don't know what
But that
the
should have
protocol
been.
is.
Should that not have been? I feel like those vaccines should have went straight to the olds and straight to the people
Healthcare
working in the
workers.
hospitals. There should have been no other.
What about the politicians?
Well, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
We do need those fucking stooges who speak on television and say dumb things and start start riots and protests and say dumb things. We need them to be safer than everybody else. But also, a lot of them are like 97 years old, so they would fall into the one category.
Oh,
the olds. But the olds and the hospital people probably should have been the first people to get this.
First in line.
You'd think.
They trotted that thing in like it was the Super Bowl.
What's that?
The vaccine.
Can somebody turn on his microphone? This guy. I mean, Gumpy just had a great line there. He was talking about them trotting the vaccine in there like it was the Lombardi. And then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Goldman Sachs says, allegedly, they see the world coming back around February-ish.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Goldman.
Is it a leap year?
Trust Goldman Sachs for sure.
Let's go to a break. What a fucking joke everything is.
Nuts.
That's what I want you guys to do during Christmas. Just sit around and think about how big of a joke everything is.
What a year.
What a year. Jesus Christ.
Drop the bass.
I gotta remove that song from the playlist.
Unlike.
What's that?
I said unlike. Yeah, that one was brutal.
Oh, unlike.
Like unlike, and instead of unlike something.
That's what you're saying. I like.
I do like the beat drop.
If you're a business owner, that one's called.
The beat drop?
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Well, I like the beat drop, but I don't like the beat drop.
Well, immediately after the beat dropping you hear in that particular song, your ears just get punished with sounds that make no sense.
That's the problem.
But shout out to them for making the build to the beat drop. It just, afterwards, it seemed like they just mailed it in like Bill Belichick.
Whoa. Hey, we sold out, you know?
If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough, ain't it?
Oh, hell yeah.
But you might be making it harder on yourself than necessary. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down no more. It's time to upgrade to NetSuite. Stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need all in one place instantaneously, whether you're doing $1 million or hundreds of millions in revenue. Save time and money with NetSuite. Join the over 22,000. Wow. companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/Pat. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/Pat. That's netsuite.com/PAT. Shout out to NetSuite, making people run business better. Before we get to a break here, I would like to say we had planned on mailing these Arby's bricks out last night.
Yep.
Okay, hashtag Arby's is great, space, 4 random numbers, automatically enter in to win one of the 4 Arby's bricks, which is $500 worth of gift cards to Arby's. Okay? Had to tweet that out. You only had up to 5 entries. Turns out, the 4 numbers thing. We had over 9,000 entries yesterday.
Jeez.
Wow. The 4 numbers thing, gonna be tough to guess. So we still have 2 bricks available. So what I'm saying is if you entered yesterday with hashtag Arby's is great with a space with 4 numbers, and I said there was only up to 5 entries allowed, it's now up to 55.
Wow.
Yeah, 55 entries allowed per person. Yep, 55 entries allowed per person.
Let's go.
Strictly because we got to get these things out soon. I would like people to have these for the holiday season. I'd like to maybe not for Christmas, but maybe before the new year, you go out and you enjoy some Arby's on the house because your friends here at the Pat McAfee Show love our partnership with the greatest fast food company on planet Earth, Arby's. So right now you go to Twitter, use the hashtag Arby's is great because that's what it is. You use a space and then you hit 4 numbers. We did 4 different things to figure out what the 4 numbers are going to be. They're all entertaining. We videoed them all. We will release how we found our numbers. Now we need to find your number. You got up to 55 entries. Go ahead and do hashtag Arby's is great, space, with your number selection. 1 number selection per tweet. We'll see you on the other side. It's the Pat McAfee Show. We want to give you this goddamn prick.
Hell yeah.
First things first, 50-yard trash can drop into the bucket accuracy contest. Apple, set, go. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
All right, let's see how easy it is to catch now with the boys.
Time maybe to play down low.
All right, so you can throw the shit out of it and catch it. I think the XFL ball gets a big pass. By the way, I hit some bombs with it as well. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start
you know,
self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? You know, I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Oh. Hey, that sounds like it's, you know what I mean? It could be like in the background of like studios with that sound.
That was pretty.
That was not on the song.
Nope.
That was ad-lib by Mansouri in the back there. Speaking of Mansouri and Nick, today, oh man, I was trying to figure out how I was going to word it. Because normally I would just strictly bury this thing, you know, because just to stir the pot with friend Nick. But if I do this because of how many people end up seeing it, all of a sudden I stir the pot with a lot of people. That
quite a predicament you're in.
Which relax, Nick, please. This is kind of, you know, this show I've realized, you know, like for instance with the Dan Orlovsky thing with Carson Wentz, like we were having probably, you know, a coffee or a drink back in the green room having a conversation, and Dan was ranting and raving about something. I just look at him, I go, Dan, Carson Wentz stinks, dude. And it's just to get the reaction from Orlovsky and the room that we're immediately in. And then Dan takes that to TV 3 weeks later and says what I said and everything like that. So I'm learning with this show, you know, that sometimes some things, like for instance, I think Seinfeld fucking stinks, okay? I think anybody that watches that show is wasting their time in life. Okay, this is stand-up not bad. The show stinks, all right?
It doesn't bother me when you say this because I know you don't believe it.
Yeah,
you just explained it. You're just trying to get a rise out of us.
Exactly. That's all I'm doing because Nick loves the show. Okay, Nick, one of the biggest Seinfeld fans of all time. I believe back before there was DVR and everything, he had like the lineup of the DVDs of all the goddamn all the seasons and everything. It was just in there, you know. So as soon as I see that, like obviously with my way my brain goes, what a fucking bunch of waste of space this is, you know. And that's just to get Nick going, you know. But I've watched a couple episodes of Seinfeld. I like it. Okay, I respect Seinfeld's brain a lot. Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, one of my favorite series on the internet. So I like that much more than Seinfeld. But you know, whenever I start stirring the pot with my friends, I realize that I also potentially piss off a lot of other people on the road. So happy Festivus. Is that what we got going on today?
Oh yeah, for the rest of us.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Festivus for the rest of us,
Okay,
Pat.
okay, go on.
For people who don't want to buy into the capitalism, consumerism of the holidays, there was Festivus.
Oh yeah.
So
created by the great Frank Costanza, rest in peace, Jerry Stiller. We bring out the aluminum pole. We all gather around. We air our grievances. We got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about them. And then we do the feats of strength, just like the Greeks did back in the day. We wrestle around in the living room, see who's the strongest.
Well, happy Festivus. Happy Festivus.
Sounds dumb.
Sounds negative.
No. Sounds good.
No.
No, listen, Foxy, Connor, you scumbags wouldn't know something good if it slaps you right in the mouth.
Right in the mouth.
So we're gonna gather
Good
around the
airing of
metal
grievances right there. Foxy, stop being a fan of my team, you fucking stooge.
Hey, good airing of grievance right there.
good.
Any feats of strength back there we'd like to showcase?
Russell.
I'm going to snap his neck right now if I have
I got a grievance to air. Pittsburgh Steelers, start playing football.
Grievance.
We're airing grievances. Happy Festivus to all of us. If you'd like to air your grievance, go ahead and tweet them at Nick Maraldo. Yeah. He loves that type of stuff.
Yeah, what else is new?
See, some things are for everybody else, some things are for me. That whole thing right there was for me, and I'm pretty happy about it. Let's go to Nolan in Austin. What? What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, boys?
How you doing down there in Austin, home of Joe Rogan now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. A lot of good stuff popping off down there from what I've been told. I think Chappelle's down there as well. I saw a picture. Undertaker was down there. Tank was down there. Thank you, Tank. Yeah, he's been down.
Everyone's down in Austin. Y'all got to make the trip.
Well, that's what, actually, that was a conversation piece yesterday we had because it feels like a lot of the world is getting locked back down. I don't know about Indianapolis. It feels like we kind of like plateaued on where we're going. If we start heading backwards, like it seems like a lot of places are. I mean, I love Indiana. I love Indianapolis. I've had a great time here.
I love Indiana, too. I go up there a lot.
Yeah, I will get the fuck out. I mean, you know what I mean? I was down in Florida. There was a whole goddamn block party. Everybody was wearing masks. Not everybody. 80% of people were wearing masks, but it was the whole place was wide open. I'm like, hey, if I can be safe about this, right? If I'm going to wear masks, I'd like to be able to walk outside with my friends at least a couple times. Yeah. But we're on the other side. I've been told we're on the other side because the vaccine and the boost thing or whatever. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, well, speaking about Indianapolis, I wanted to bring up the Colts and how do you think they're going to play out the rest of the season, especially playing the Steelers? I mean, Juju Smith may dance on the logo or what?
Well, that's interesting. Great question, Nolan. It's in Pittsburgh, so the Colts won't have to deal with that. Thank God, because then you have to call in because I do think that Colts defense would be a team that would be waiting at the logo.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I think Darius Leonard would be potentially a guy because this Colts defense has loved being Colts. Like, I think that is a cool thing. Like, they've embraced being Indianapolis Colts. They like Quentin Nelson, young guy, Darius Leonard, Walker. You go through that entire secondary with Kenny Moore, who got screwed out of the Pro Bowl, DeForest Buckner there, who also got screwed out of the Pro Bowl. That team, I think, has embraced being a Colts. So I think there's a chance that defense there might have been a problem. Now, I'm not saying there definitely would have been, but there might have been a situation where maybe personal foul, maybe guys get ejected before the game. Doesn't have to happen because it's in Pittsburgh. Do what you got to do. But that next week in Cleveland, I don't know how he's going to figure it out with Juju, where he's going to dance. I mean, there is a player on that Cleveland Browns team who did attempt to murder a Pittsburgh Steeler just a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't know what happened in there, but I would assume if old Juju drops doo-doo on some Brown out there, something's going to happen between the team and there. I'm excited to see how that goes forward. Remember, Tomlin did say he was going to talk to old Juju about respect and everything like that. Joe Hayden has come out and said that my dog dancing is the least of our worries, which is true, which is why I think the Colts get a win this weekend in Pittsburgh. The Steelers went from being 3-point favorites to 1.5-point underdogs. Just in one game, the Steelers go from being favored by 3 against a team that's going to make the playoffs in the AFC, maybe. The Colts have to win out, by the way.
Yep.
The Colts basically have to win out to make the playoffs. They could be an 11-5 team that don't make the playoffs, more so than the Browns could be in some bullshit analytic run thing. They said that the Colts potentially become the 11-5 team because they lost to the Ravens earlier in the year. The Ravens would have the advantage, so the Colts would get kicked out. But this Colts team seems to be playing very good football right now. They have their identity. They're going to run the ball. Phil Rivers is going to deliver the rock around. T.Y. Hilton is starting to get hot. Pittman Jr. is playing good. Jack Doyle is all the way back. It feels like that defense is going to take a lot of things personally. DeForest Buckner not being named to the Pro Bowl, look for him to cause some real problems to that Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line. I like the Colts a lot this weekend against Pittsburgh Steelers. Teams going in 2 different directions, both on the field in their records, but also energetic-wise. If you look on the sideline, Colts are loving what they're doing. Steelers seem to be hating everything. It just feels like teams going in 2 very different directions.
Is there any thought for like Frank Reich to be like, hey, DeForest Buckner, why don't you walk out to the midfield at pregame and just Juju dance all over that logo, and let's see how the Steelers feel about it.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, probably not. I don't know
if
why.
Only.
Yeah, but why? I don't think Frank Reich, who is I think he's a priest. I think he's like a
pastor. That's right.
A licensed pastor. I don't know if he's going to be the guy, especially with how long he played in the NFL, gets the game, respects the league. We'll be like, all right, boys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go step on their stinking logo. That's what he says, by the way, stinking.
Stinking.
Yeah, some audio left the locker room after the game where he was talking about how good the team played, and he said that was a good stinking game or something like that.
Phil Rivers.
Him and Phil Rivers, I don't think they're going to be the ones that are going to be like, go step on their logo. Now, will Phil Rivers potentially do something if he's getting hot against that Steelers defense? Yes, he will, and that's what we're here for. That's what we all kind of wish I think Juju would do. You know, like, hey, if you're going to shit talk and do all that, like, I love it. Like, I like having a pest on the team. I'm a big fan of that. I think if that person's on your team, you love them. If they're not on your team, you hate them. Those are people I like to be friends with, by the way. Like, hey, if you're down for your team and everybody else hates you and you don't care, that's cool with me. But, it's just I just think there's a way to go about it. I don't know. I just do. I think
Is it his fault? I mean, you can't fumble. You can't be doing all that stuff. But I've seen a lot of people saying that the Juju stuff has been distracting a lot of people from the fact that Ben just stinks now.
Yeah, and what we did talk about yesterday did gain some ground on the internet about how maybe it is the little muscles in the arm.
Yeah.
Let Ben beat. It's time.
Oh, yeah.
It's time.
What do you? Oh, yeah. And you haven't talked in 10 minutes.
Whenever we got to talk about Ben jerking off, we have to let him jerk off.
I think Madden said it best yesterday. Juju dancing has become more of the symptom of the big problem of lack of leadership.
Yeah.
I guess it came out today that Big Ben said he had no clue that Juju was even doing the dancing on the logos.
You see,
how does
this
a
is
leader
why
not know what's happening.
This is how, Mansuri, because he stays away from the internet at all costs.
Has to.
because of what we were just talking about.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to TikTok and see the girl dump it out.
All right.
Yeah, he's prone to a 5-on-1 mugging of the old gland.
Okay, so he would not. I think he's probably stayed away from the internet, where this has garnered a lot of attention is on the internet. I would assume, by the way, with Ben Roethlisberger, with how long he's been around, at some point, if he did know this was happening, would say, like, come on, can't do it. But I don't know how that conversation hasn't got into the locker room at all or into the offensive team meeting room. I don't know how Randy Fichtner hasn't pointed a joke at that, like that whole thing. Like, all anybody's talking about is not us being able to rush for negative 50 yards every week, but because Juju's dancing. And then Ben will go, what was that? Well, Juju's dancing on the logo every game. Oh,
excuse me?
I didn't know that. Where are they talking about that? On the internet? Why haven't you seen it? Oh, because I used to just smash my baloney on it. So I stay away from the internet.
Ben's too focused on trying to keep his vision narrow so he's not playing cigarette machine in his locker.
All right. Jesus Christ.
If I could be serious for a minute.
Cigarette.
Do you think this is a problem that they don't have a veteran receiver on the team? Juju is the oldest receiver on the team. Isn't that something like your position group leader might handle?
Yeah, I would assume. I would say that's like control your room or like, hey, have a talk with your room. He's the old guy. Remember Chase Claypool told us that.
Yeah.
He said he's goofy or something like that. I forget how he worded it, but it wasn't like Juju's in there, cracking down on people for not doing things right. But by the way, I don't think him being a pest is wrong. Like, I like that, actually. Like, I'm a big fan of that. And the fact that, he even, after they told him not to dance on the logo, he said, no, I'm going to still do it. Like, I respected that, too. I was like, okay, all right, I got respect for it. But then whenever you obviously get blown up, there's a fumble, you lose to the Bengals, it's like, all right, well, maybe there are some distractions here.
And he added the spike this week, which did not help.
2 balls.
Yeah.
He threw the one up, kind of a slow spike, and then he took the other one down. Corvette, how you doing?
Come on, Juju.
Let's go to Isaac in California. What's going on, Isaac? There's a guy named Cricket on the phone, too. We'll get to him.
Oh, nice.
Hey, boys, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great, Isaac. What do you want to talk about?
Merry fucking Christmas. It's the best day for the greatest show in this region called the United fucking States of America.
Okay. Yeah. We didn't hear it all, but we do.
Hey.
Okay.
I got a statement and I got a question. My statement, I love you guys. Thank you for the positivity. Bringing Darren Waller on the show. I'm a young, sober guy, and it's good to see influences like that.
Hey, congrats. Keep it going, by the way. Stay alive, pal. Stay alive. Stay sober. What do you want to talk about?
Question for you guys. All right, I love the Dolphins. They're a great team and all, but the Raiders, when Marcus Mariota inevitably puts up 400 total passing and rushing yards this weekend and 5 touchdowns,
possible.
Do you think the players can fucking rally it together, overcome this coaching staff, and make a playoff run?
Great question, Isaac. Thanks for the love, by the way. He's in California, still a Raiders fan. I assume he's up there in the Bay Area, potentially. Darren Waller is an absolute stud. The fact that they haven't ruled Mariota as the starter yet, is that probably because strategy-wise?
Yeah, just to hold on to it.
I would assume so, strategy-wise. If Derek Carr comes back and plays, I think a lot of people are going to question what the hell happened last week. Then why couldn't you play if you can play now? And not that any of us are doctors. That's just a reasonable question, I think. But the Raiders, if Mariota comes out and balls and ruins the Dolphins' like Cinderella season here, that'd be a tough pill to swallow. Let me tell you why. Dolphins kick Tannehill out of town. Tannehill kicks Mariota out of town. Mariota comes back and says, Dolphins, fuck you for what you did to Tannehill, which inevitably did it to me. That'd be a tough day, Gumpy, wouldn't it? What's that? That's on Saturday.
Mariota revenge game.
Oh my God!
No.
This could be bad for you, Gump. Look at that bulletin board material Gruden's got. Gruden's like, knock on wood if you're with me, boys. Dolphins screwed our guy, so now our guy is going to screw them.
Yeah, screw him.
Derek Carr is good to go. You got to let him go. He's the starter.
All right, relax over there. Relax.
Mariota does have that elderly Hawaii factor over Tua, too, so you wonder if he does anything with the pregame to get in his head.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're talking about.
It's just good to be in the playoff race, you know.
Oh, you're talking about the Patriots not being in there, Gumpy. That's what Gumpy just said. He's talking about your team stinking.
I've witnessed more Super Bowls than he will his entire lifetime.
Patriots with a shot back at the Dolphins.
In the past.
Oh, Dolphins saying, well, welcome to reality, pal. What about the president? It's a gift. Speaking of Christmas time, let's talk about right now. Let's not talk about the past.
Go to the playoffs. That's cool, but maybe win a playoff game.
We're still living in the now, though, Connor.
Yeah, okay.
There's a chance you guys lose the Raiders.
Okay. There's also a chance the Dolphins, aren't good going forward, and the Bills own the division. So I'd slow down back there.
Oh, now you're on the Bills.
I'm not I'm on the reality of what's going on right now. Are you in first in the division, Gump?
No, we're in the playoff race, I said.
Oh, so you're in the race. You're not even in it yet.
Yeah, where are you?
Hey, they're running, bub. What are you doing? You're sitting on the sideline drinking beers.
We're looking for... Okay. Hey, I'm fine with that.
What? Let's go to Jamie in Dallas. What's going on down there, Jamie?
Hey, Patrick. The Raiders are dead, and the Dolphins are definitely in pretty good shape. They're front-loading their contracts, and they got the Texans draft picks. They got that going for them.
They do.
But that's not what I'm going to talk about.
Is this fucking Warren Sharp?
First of all, Patrick, thank you. Just wanted to say thank you, Patrick.
Thank you
for inspiring me to open my own business over in August. It's a big inspiration for me.
What's your business? What's your business, Jamie?
Oh, I'm a chiropractor. I opened a practice. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So that just means you got like a little table there, right? And you just kind of do your thing?
Yeah, I got 2 tables, Patrick.
Wow, let's get that game ready.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do you want to talk about, Jamie?
Anyway.
Good luck.
Anyways, I had a Tinder date over last night, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Of course, Aaron Rodgers comes up, and my Tinder date says, Aaron Rodgers stinks and he's cocky. And I could not believe the slander and the disrespect out of this girl's mouth. I marched myself to my bedroom, threw on my Christmas dropping dimes and suck it signs Aaron Rodgers t-shirt, and threw that on the rest of the date. Later on in the night, I kept that sweater on while we were having relations.
Dropping dimes.
Jamie never had sex.
No, he didn't grab any butts.
I don't think Jamie ever had sex.
No, definitely smacked his pole
Something
later.
tells Something tells me Dr. Jamie was practicing his chiropractic techniques on his meat.
All right. Jamie did not deserve that.
He was giving himself an adjustment.
Jamie bought a Christmas sweater, so we were very thankful for Jamie doing that.
Yeah.
And Jamie has been entered in to win one of the 4 PS5s. Those winners will be announced next week, by the way. And people are going to say, no, it was supposed to be 5. Well, it was supposed to be 3. Okay. Then AJ offered up 2 more. And turns out we only got 4 legitimized. These are tough things to find.
Yeah.
We will give away 4 at least, maybe 5 next week on the show. CFO Phil is putting together the list of all the orders and purchases and the people that are available for it. Pumped up about that. Arby's bricks, we would like to give those away. Please, hashtag Arby's is great, space 4 numbers, and you can enter up to 55 times.
Whoa. Jeez.
There was a time yesterday for a good 3 hours where we had all 4 of our 4-digit numbers picked already, and not a single person guessed any of them. And I was like, oh, shit, this is never going to end. Then 2 snuck in, late night, early morning, 2 snuck in. So we woke up this morning, 2 numbers did match, but there's still 2 more bricks up for grabs. We need you to get your numbers in. Hashtag Arby's is great, space 4 random numbers or 4 planned numbers, whatever you want. I will say this. No, I'm not giving any tips.
Come on.
Santa Claus gave us 1 4-digit number.
Yes, he did.
And he gave us a number that made no sense at all.
Yeah, it's not the one you're thinking.
So we were also very bummed about it. Would like to let everybody know that when we got Santa's numbers back, we were very confused on why he picked what he picked. But we need you to pick some numbers. Hour one's wrapping up on the other side. We'll take some more phone calls, wrap up the show. This show stinks, to be honest. It's Wednesday. It's the way it goes. AJ Hawk will be joining us in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not a bad December 23rd, huh? Happy Festivus. You got 6 minutes. Go air your grievances and take a shit. Let me tell you a little story about these statistics. Troy Polamalu, okay? Fucking Troy Polamalu. So we had a fake for the Pittsburgh Steelers that was a 100%er. We didn't even have a cancel the goddamn play because it was a 100%er. If we ever end up in this situation, inside the 7-yard line on the left hash, it is a 100%er that the C gap will be wide open and we will just part the C to the left. It'll be a touchdown. 100%er. We're playing in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I won the punt, pass, and kick national championship, AJ. National championship, AJ.
Congrats.
AJ, did you ever win the national championship, punt, pass, and kick?
I think I got 3rd or 4th out of 4 at the Nationals.
I'm proud of you, man. Anyways, so we're there in that stadium, okay? A lot of McAfee's in there. A lot of McAfee's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown, night game, Sunday Night Football, I believe it was, right here, touchdown. We get into that situation, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really going to happen. We're like on the 6, on the left hash. It's 4th and goal now. Field goal team's jogging on. I'm like, well, fuck, it's about to, I'm ready. I am ready for this to happen. So I get out there. I get down. Vinny's like happy for me. Vinny's like very excited. He's like, let's fucking go. Like Vinny's excited for me at this moment. I'm like, here we go. So I make the call. I forget what it was. So I start saying it, right? And everybody's looking at me like, okay, bright eyes. Here we go. Let's get after it. Offensive linemen are dead ass tired. They do not want to be in the middle of a field goal anyways. So they're just like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you die here, but this should work. Let's get some points. And all of a sudden, I go through my cadence, I call it, I get down, and Troy Polamalu's fucking ass goes ahead for however long his career was at this point. I think it was like 9 years or 8 years at this point. Not a once has he ever gone to this side of the field over here to the left and stood right in the C gap. Never. He lined up exactly where he had lined in film 100% of the time. And then as soon as I got to like the second cadence right before set, he just bounced his little ass right over to the C gap. And I like stopped everything I was doing and I literally just looked at him. And I gave him like a, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you there right now? And then I stood up and said, we are kicking it. We have to kick it. We are kicking this. And then I get down, and Vinatieri kicks it, and I jog off the field, and Chuck Pagano comes running up next to me. He's like, hey, good job. What'd you see? I said, what did I see? Polamalu just fucking went right into the goddamn C gap. What did I see? What did I see? And he goes, okay, sounds good. Good call then. And good call then. And then Vinatieri's like, hey, way to go, buddy. I'm like, way to go? Are we not going to talk about how big of a fucking asshole Troy Polamalu is for what just happened right there? So that's.
I saw the angel of death waiting for me in the C gap.
It's unbelievable. What, you thought I was going to run him over? No way. He's probably going to strip me and score a touchdown the other fucking. That's Polamalu, bro. That ain't just your backyard football with your son. These are professional fucking athletes. He'd probably jump over the lineman, pick me up, and run me into the other fucking end zone if he wanted to. That's what he would have done.
The hard-hitting safety of his generation, too. I mean, Ed Reed, great cover safety. I don't know that you would have feared him, but
Ed Reed, I would have feared Ed Reed. Yeah, if I saw Ed Reed in that C gap, absolutely. Reed, boy, the best safety you ever seen, boy. I ain't doing shit to Ed Reed.
No, Ed Reed would have made the tackle. I'm saying that Polamalu would have shaved years off your life.
Oh, my God. This next song is called Tornado by Who Are You?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. It's coming. Grab your ankles.
Hold on to the cars. Have you ever seen the movie Twister? It's getting a bit windy out here. Some warm weather, cold weather, meeting right here. There's a problem. It's a tornado. There's a problem. Do we want it? Hell no. The song goes hard. Yeah, the beat goes ham, and it's so fucking breezy. I can't even stand. Gotta go to the basement, away from all the windows. Cause if I'm near them, then I will fucking feel those. Cause the wind is the glass, and the glass will break. How much can the house fucking take? Just a couple months ago, I was standing outside, right next to my beautiful wife, when we heard a fucking train about to come through the trees, and we sprinted to the basement, almost made me fucking pee, because the breeze was coming. Yeah, I like this one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. That one's pretty good.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Happy Festivus, December 23rd, 2020. Hour 2 of this dumbass show begins right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Hope you all are prepared to have the greatest Christmas and holiday season you've ever had in your entire life. I think we should think about enjoying this, because just a few months ago, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 months ago, we had no idea what was going to go on this road. And here we are in time for Christmas to pop off. We will be off the next 2 days. It's going to be a good time for us to take a break. Know that there is football on Christmas Day, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, we got this thing going. And maybe, and I don't want to wish this upon anybody, but a Tuesday night game could pop off at any moment as well. Oh, yeah? You never know. Mm-hmm. I enjoy Tuesday night football, by the way. I hope the boys think about that going forward. Maybe in the next league year or two. If we're going to have 17 games, let's maybe have 1 or 2 on Tuesday during the year, because those Tuesday nights get a little bit dry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you get a little bit?
Yes, they do. I mean, Maction, listen, I love it.
We do love it.
Love Maction. Would rather watch an NFL game than Maction.
Yeah, like high school football is cool. Put it on Tuesday night as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Maction, high school football, do whatever you got to do. Maybe Arch Manning, down
there we go. See, I watched that over a Maction game. I get the whole Maction crave. It fucking stinks. It's like, let's get some real fucking games on. If it were up to me, I mean, I would rather watch the top high school teams in recruits like Arch.
Jesus.
Dude.
Christmas?
Hey, happy Festivus. That's a grievance I want to air, all right? I thought we were around the middle pole still.
Yeah, we are. We're airing grievances.
Yeah.
And you said what a lot of people think.
Yes. Maction fucking things.
No.
Come on.
No. Just saying about wanting to watch high school. You don't have to bury one to put up the other.
Talking about the top recruits. Yeah, everyone wants to see that.
Let's go to cricket in Wisconsin. What's going on, cricket?
Hey, Pat, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good, too.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say Merry Christmas to all you guys at the office. I appreciate the positivity and all your good vibes, especially through the hard year. So I want to say thank you to everybody there.
Merry Christmas to you, too. Merry Christmas, cricket.
Love you, cricket.
All right. Secondly, my question is about the Packers-Titans game. How important is it for the Packers defense as it is to stop Derrick Henry? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, what's your take on that?
Zito just blew out everybody's ears with his little cricket
Scared the
sound.
shit out of
Way to go, Zeke. Hope you feel good about that. With the question from the human cricket there from Wisconsin. Obviously, you got to stop Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, you got to do that. How's the Titans' defense? Anybody know? How's the
Not
Titans'
very good. I mean, they lost to the Bengals, remember? They lost 31-20, I think.
Yeah, but that was so many weeks ago. That was like 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, wasn't it?
They got no pass rush. It's not very good.
Oh, so Aaron's going to sit back and dice this whole thing. So that's why you're not worried at all, because Derrick Henry can run for 230, 240, 250. Hell, he can go for 330 like Sermon did at Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. It doesn't matter because on the other side, Aaron's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it'll be a very similar game to, I mean, hopefully they get up big and then they can just kind of let Derrick Henry run all over him. But, I mean, I don't think they're going to blow him out. I think it'll be close, but I'm not really worried.
Let's go to Mr. Davidson. Harley in Buffalo. What's going on, pal?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. What's up?
First of all, I just want to say, how are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're doing good, Harley. Thanks for asking. I mean, Diggs is currently at home. A little bit early for Christmas, not feeling as great, so hopefully he'll be okay. Connor is just burning things down on his day of positivity. Ty feels good. Foxy's a Steelers fan, so you know his life is great. And Nick's so hungover, he drank Jameson for 8 hours yesterday because the Steelers lost to the Bengals. Gumpy on top of it. Mansouri's kind of killing everybody. Jason isn't talking. And Zito just found a cricket sound effect that's going to ruin our lives. So it feels like everybody's good over here, Harley. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
You know, living in Buffalo, the kings of the AFC East.
Yeah, see, that's what Connor was saying earlier.
So I just got one thing to say. On Monday, the Buffalo Bills are going to walk straight into Foxborough.
Oh, yeah.
Put 52 points up on those Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Then after the game, Captain America himself, Josh Allen, is going to walk right in front of that beautiful billboard, set up a table, and smash Bill Belichick right through it.
Yeah!
Hell yeah. Shit, did they already get the rights to that wrestling match?
Josh Allen is going to take Bill Belichick over to that fan of the year billboard the Buffalo Bills Mafia have up there in Foxborough. He's going to go up on top of that billboard and he's going to superplex Bill Belichick through a goddamn table like it's a Buffalo Bills tailgate, because that's what Captain America Josh Allen does.
As long as everyone's got masks on and we're following protocols, that's all that matters.
Let's go to Danny in South Korea, Indiana. What's going on, Danny?
Hi, Pat. How are you?
Not too shabby, man. What part of South Korea are you in?
Just south of Seoul. I'm on a military installation at the moment with me and my Army buddies.
Have you ever been to the DMZ up there?
Unfortunately not. COVID has kind of shut down everything up here.
See, that's good. The demilitarized zone was shut down because of COVID. So COVID did do something. Yeah. I guess that's good. It shut down the border tensions between South Korea and North Korea. Thanks for your service over there, Danny. What do you want to talk about, brother?
So I currently have a running bet with my diehard Chiefs, one of my homies out here. And we have $100 on that the Chiefs are going to go back-to-back winning the Super Bowl. And I wanted to get your input on that.
It's tough to go back-to-back, but that team is also doing things that are incredibly tough on a very regular basis. For instance, signing their entire team back. Not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side as well. With Chris Jones and their coaching and their GM, they've done the impossible task of keeping that roster together for, I think, the next 3 to 5 years. I'm not 100% sure. So all the hard work has been done, because normally when you win, the money gets big. You can't keep the players around. You lose your stars. You're kind of shuffling in people, and maybe the gel isn't, the chemistry isn't as good. They've been able to somehow keep the core of that team, which also happens to be their superstars, in place for at least the next 3 to 5 years. It's going to be tough for anybody to stop them. And it feels like whenever they want, they can turn it on and beat anybody at any time that they have to. So I think your buddy over there probably won $100 from you, but the field isn't a bad thing to bet on. I think that's a safe bet by you to bet on 31 teams. But at this point, it feels like the Chiefs are everybody's favorites in their eyes. But any given Sunday, hey, any given Monday, hey, any given Tuesday, hey, any given Thursday, any given Friday, any given Saturday.
That's right.
The NFL is just starting to play every goddamn. It is interesting how they've just kind of like moseyed their way into, oh, we'll play that day.
We're going to play every night of the week.
Oh, you know what? Boys, you need to recover. Doesn't matter. You're playing on fucking Wednesday. 3 days break. Go ahead and get out there. It's one day earlier than Thursday. Hey, one day.
Big deal.
You can do that. But I think any given Sunday is the thing. But the Chiefs just seem to be able to do whatever they want whenever they want. And that's a problem for everybody. And this was kind of how the Patriots were for a long time. You know, even if a team was beating them, they'd come back and win. They knew you knew they were going to win. With this team, it just feels like any given time they want to control a game, they can do it.
Those Colts, with the defense they have, it feels like that's one of the only teams that will be able to run with them.
By the way, it would be awesome if Colts get a Super Bowl here. Would be awesome.
That run game, I mean, come on.
It's going to be, and also defense, good run game. They got a couple weapons now waking up. T.Y.'s playing ball. I mean, it could be really good, but hey, Buffalo Bills too in the AFC. Let's not count them out. And then, obviously, you got the big bad Aaron Rodgers on the other side.
Whoever they play, the Chiefs are going to have like 4 turnovers. The other team's not going to be able to turn it over. You're going to have to score on damn near every possession. Like, you hate to say it, but outside of Mahomes getting injured, it seems like
And there's only been a couple games where you see early where they're dropping balls, and it's like, oh, this is a week potentially. Like, this is a week. And then all of a sudden they have one quarter, and it's like, that was what
3 minutes of unbelievable.
Yeah, we forgot that they could put up 21 points in 2.5 minutes if they want to. It's unbelievable. They are so fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like Travis Kelce's running by corners at this point. He's also blocking people. Tyreek Hill, I don't know if there will ever be a human like him in football ever again. And that might sound a bit ridiculous or whatever, but there's never been a human like Tyreek Hill in the NFL, and I'm not sure there ever will be. His durability and explosivity is stupid. He can run forever. They have him run marathons every game. If you watch him, he's in motion, just running back and forth, and then he'll sprint down for an 80-yard run, and then just trots back right into the huddle, and he doesn't even really stop in the huddle. He's just jogging. He's like a treadmill. It just never ends. It just never stops. It is ridiculous out there.
And you always say, too, imagine if they put him at punt returner every time.
Yeah.
Like if he was doing that, too, it's just like, he can do it all.
But they took a punt back the other day, right?
Yeah, Hardman did. Yeah, so it's not as if
He's
they're
also
really
very
losing.
good.
Well,
very fast.
Yeah, then you also have Sammy Watkins as well if you want. And there's just, and
Lev Bell.
Lev Bell is getting better, by the way. I wish Diggs was here because it feels like Lev Bell's becoming a larger part of the offense now. I think he might have got hurt last week. I don't know if he's healthy or not. Clyde got hurt?
Yeah, Edwards-Helaire is.
I thought Lev got
He did get
both
popped
did.
at the end of the game, and he was down.
Yeah, I think Lev got kind of helped out as well.
Really?
Yeah, but he was starting to become more of they just have a never-ending supply.
There was a concern that the string cheese he has for hamstrings did break.
Oh, come on.
Who?
Lev Bell.
Oh.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
That happens once a year. Watch, and it's usually in an important game. Lev Bell comes up a little limp.
Oh, here's a Steelers fan. Here's a Steelers fan. By the way,
look it up.
The year he was out, his hamstrings were just fine on those jet skis and whenever he was debuting albums. Yeah, he was okay. So maybe they healed. You ever think about
that? For his sake.
Almost might be worse that there are no running backs for the Chiefs. Just gives Mahomes the ball more.
That's right. We don't even have to act like it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sam in Kalamazoo, Indiana. What's going on, Sam?
Hey, Pat, how we doing?
Not too shabby. How are you in Kalamazoo?
I'm doing just fantastic. I wanted to talk to Connor about the absolute slander against the MAC.
Okay.
Like, come on, man. Like, we had one of the best games of the year on a fake spike final play. We were down by 10 in the last few minutes, and it was a great finish.
Yeah, but Sam, you got to remember, like, the corner in that game wasn't even standing near the wide receiver, which would mean that, probably terrible football players, which kind of goes to Connor's point, although it was electric. And there's a lot of electrifying moments coming out of MAC football, but I think a lot of it comes from potential terrible football on the other side, which, by the way, I'm a fan of, but Connor is a scumbag against all of that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, man, it is what it is. But
Exactly.
we love watching the action down here in Kalamazoo, and we appreciate you guys.
Who won this year?
Who won?
Ball State.
Chirp, baby. Let's go.
Wow.
Chirp. Thank you, Sam. You got guys in Michigan who would rather watch MAC football than the NFL football because the Detroit Lions are up there.
Yeah, so I really, for his sake, it's more on the Lions than it is the MAC itself. But hey, sorry, look, I've been watching the Patriots my whole life. I don't want to watch your fucking shitty league. Okay,
Whoa,
dude?
gee, will you take it easy? There's no reason for you to be this negative right now. Ball State, chirp. They're extending opportunities to student human athletes to further their education and get a chance to play the game that they love.
And that's wonderful. But you know what? I love the game too. And if you really wanted to play, go to D3. Okay, no one wants to watch this shit.
Whoa, dude. What did you do?
Go to Amherst College, get a damn good education, and put those NFL dreams down, okay, my man?
And tell you, Brian.
J.J. Watt before he went to
Big Ben Roethlisberger.
And those guys would have gone pro if they went D3 too.
In 2020, we were lucky to have any sports to watch.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You were begging for action whenever we had everything shut down, you scumbag.
Me, I was still riding high with the AFL. I would rather wake up at 2:30 in the morning and watch the AFL and my West Coast Eagles play before I watch some bums in the MAC.
Hey, Julian Edelman did a lot for you.
He did do a lot for me.
Yeah. Your happiness, your life, your arrogance, your unwarranted arrogance. Julian Edelman has done a lot for you. And all you do is just, shit on his name?
Edelman will live in my heart forever. But, hey, guess what? I didn't watch his ass at Kent State, and nobody else did either.
Well,
that's
Bill
why
did.
That's right.
That's why nobody else drafted him. No, for Bill's sake, keep the MAC alive. But other than that, get it off my damn TV.
Let's go to Joel in Virginia. What's going on, Joel? It's unbelievable.
Hey, what's up, boys? How you doing?
Well, we're all pretty positive going into the holiday season, except for old, Scrooge McDuck Connor.
Yeah, Scrooge.
Ebenezer.
We hate the Stooges, but all right, so I got a question.
You are Stooge.
Ebenezer Stooge. Yeah, we had that.
As a shirt? Yeah, we did. I don't think it's sold that well, but.
No. Shut up.
It should have.
I wish I got that one.
Really should.
Well, it was probably, it was a pretty deep story.
It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who knows?
That was a late round pick.
Who knows?
How does Santa Heisman do?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even look into it. I should. I will. I will this week.
After Christmas, because since all the orders up till then.
I just normally do a judge by social media. People send pictures and sending.
there it is.
And there's a couple that I have not seen for a long time. For instance, the Ebenezer Stooge. I forgot we even had that out there.
I didn't even see it one time in person here.
I don't even know if it exists.
Never got in here.
Sorry, man. What do you want to talk about, Joel?
No worries. I just got a question about a team in the best division in football, the NFC East. Do y'all see the Washington football team with their defense even making a run in the playoffs this year?
Well, Dwayne Haskins beat COVID somehow with booties in his face. He's starting this weekend potentially, and that was the news that Gumpy forced into the conversation earlier. Alex Smith is not taking first-team reps right now with the Washington football team. Dwayne Haskins is taking first-team reps, and this is potentially big-time Dwayne Haskins. I'm in the strip club Monday starting on Sunday week. We're pulling for him. Good luck out there. But that defensive line for the Washington football team is a problem. I mean, they really are. Now, if they run into a team that can score, they won't be able to beat a goddamn thing. But it feels like they are building something special in the midst of their entire building being burnt down, basically, around. Yeah. Pretty impressive stuff out of it. You got any stats for Dewey back there, Gumpy?
The issue is they are playing Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers on Sunday, Pat.
Okay, so normally your stats align with Teddy Bridgewater covering almost every single time because he wears two gloves and plays football good. But this particular time, you got nothing for Dwayne, huh?
I got a deep cut for you here.
All right, let's go.
Teddy Bridgewater against defenses allowing 22.5 points per game or less, 14-1 against the spread.
Ooh.
Washington is allowing 21 points per game this year.
Okay, so here we go. So we're hammering the Panthers. That's what you're saying?
Wow. Panthers plus 2.5, my friend.
Oh, yeah. What's that? What are you saying, Todd?
You got anything for Teddy Bridgewater versus a guy who loves going to the titty bar after the game? I mean, that's the stat we need to find.
That is why I'm so excited about the stripper revenge game.
Well, I think
I need a stat on
Well,
it.
we should potentially put that filter in where we classify a little bit deeper in there. You know what I mean? This is what AJ always does to Gumpy's stats. He goes, okay, now tell me how many times that is against Aaron Rodgers. Okay, tell me how many times that's 5 days after eating cheeks potentially with no mask on. You know what I mean? Like these are the conversations that have to be had because situations are situational. Yep. We got to get to a break. This is Dust to Dawn by Wave Junkies.
Ooh, the Junkies.
Wave Junkies.
Come on, dude.
You need to stop.
Wave Junkies.
Can you mute it? Can you mute it?
But hold on.
Today's show is, of course, brought to you by... Nope, this is yesterday. But Arby's.
Oh.
We like Arby's. You're still muted, yeah. We like Arby's. Just know that we like Arby's. Ain't that right, Connor?
I love Arby's.
Jay.
Attaboy, Jay. This little McAfee tag team.
Quick on the trigger.
Yeah. Right now, you can apply to become one of the 4 winners of a Arby's brick. What is an Arby's brick? You said. You said that?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, it's $500 worth of gift cards.
Oh my God.
$500 worth of gift cards right here. And you might say, Pat, is that just $10, $50 gift cards with a rubber band around it for one? Yeah, it is. And would we have done it a different way if we could? Yeah, We would have.
Maybe.
But we actually bought these from Arby's to give these away in celebration of 2020, landing us a partnership with the greatest fast food restaurant in the history of fast food, Arby's. Yeah. We want to give away 4 Arby's bricks, each of worth $500 in gift cards to Arby's. To apply and to enter, you go on Twitter and you tweet hashtag Arby's is great with a space and then 4 numbers. You can apply up to 55 times. It's the Pat McAfee Show. We're back on the other side with maybe AJ Hawk, maybe some more phone calls, a lot of wasting time till we're out of here at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's the Pat McAfee Show. Cheers.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. 0. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to
What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU.
It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience.
You're heading right for the boat.
Right now?
Okay, let's do it.
We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. The boot kicker's getting some way down here. A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair. That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts?
Yeah, hold on. You need to go get changed before you get sick. Great work, Russia.
I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Oh. This is Cat Stockton, dude.
Shout out, Cat.
It's called Mr. Neighborgood.
Stockton.
This a mixtape popping from the press gate. Got the shit's creek, short of code to catch weight. This the real deal, Holyfield without a deal. Status quo, start the fire.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Thanks, Kat Stockton, Mr. Neighborgood. Hope you have a great holiday. Let's get some phone calls here before AJ Hawk joins us. We'll talk to AJ Hawk about potential supplements to all get in shape for the new year.
Ooh, I need it.
Supplements, legal, illegal, whatever we need. AJ is always in good shape. Now, you would think it's because he wakes up every morning like 5 a.m. and works out for an hour and a half every morning.
Sure.
But also, there's got to be some sort of pre-workout creatine he's on out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would think so.
You're not walking around looking like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, and Barry Bonds.
No.
Just from waking up every morning, working out like twice
Eating
a
his
day.
vegetables.
Nah.
I don't think so.
He might be the most committed person, by the way. He is up every morning working out. And I think, you see a lot of these people on the Instagram, and I think that's a filter, the 8-pack filter or whatever they got. Do they just work out every day, 2-3 hours a day? Is that what they do?
Nut jobs.
Who can do it? Who has the time? AJ does, by the way. He wakes up 5 a.m. to do it. That's all those like super overachievers, by the way. That's what they, well, if you don't have enough time in your day, wake up earlier, the day's longer. It's like, well, I try. And then I snooze right through it. And then how you doing? 7 a.m. again. Well,
Sleeping's awesome.
Don't have any more time. I thought sleep was the most important thing. Now all these old successful people are like, no, I got to wake up early, get no sleep. It's like, well, which one is he? Can't have it both fucking ways.
Kind of feel like, throughout AJ's entire life, because of all the pressure that's been put on him for having such a nice jawline, he's been forced into waking up at 5:30 to work out and keep it there.
In the jawline, by the way, I think a lot of diet, right? That's all what you eat. We'll talk to him about that. Just wait, that's coming in 3 minutes. We'll talk to Mr. Fitness, AJ Hawk, about how we can dial it in for the 2021 year, which we're all looking to do.
Oh, yeah.
Shed a few pounds.
Yeah, definitely.
D2 dub. Oh, yeah. DeMarcus Ware driven to win.
Let's go.
How long are those workouts? Have you even looked at those yet, or we just saving those for the year?
I've looked at it. I have not purchased a yearly subscription yet, but they are very hard workouts, but very simple. And all
guys out of breath reading them.
That's why I need it.
Nick.
That's why I need it.
Nick, it's Festivus.
Come on.
Yeah, this show stinks. Let's go to Jared in Texas. What's going on, Jared? Jesus. I'm trying to make people better.
Yeah, let's be happy.
He's tearing me down.
Jared, sorry about this. I mean, there's just a despicable thing going on in this office. What do you want to talk about, Bub?
Hey, no worries, Pat. I just want to say Merry Festivus to you and the boys.
Merry
and
Festivus
for putting on the greatest sports show on the internet.
This show stinks. You don't have to lie, but we appreciate you calling in. What do you want to talk about, dude?
So I'm a born and bred New Englander, stationed down here in the old Republic of Tejas. Shout out United States Marine Corps.
Shout out to you, dude. Thanks for your service.
No problem.
Hey, can you judge our ooh-rah pretty quick, though? Pretty good, huh?
Pretty fucking solid.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks,
Solid.
we try our best.
Don't get no better than
Shout out to
solid.
Todd, by the way. Uncle Todd. Uncle Todd. What do you want to talk about, brother?
So obviously I'm a Pats fan, and you guys have talked a lot about Matty Stafford moving out of Detroit. Now,
no, don't say
what it looked like him fitting in with Bill up there in Foxborough.
Well, he would fit in with Bill, by the way, because he's very quiet and just works his ass off. It feels like he's never really, there's no drama with Matthew Stafford ever. I would assume he's okay with getting coached hard, and he can make a lot of plays. It would work out really well. I mean, it would probably work out really well. Yeah. And that's why I think the whole world hopes he goes anywhere but New England, is how everybody thinks.
Yeah, well, either way, he's still throwing to Zubin Mahenti, so let's just hope that, maybe we bring in somebody for him to throw to.
What about Gunnar Olszewski?
Well, Gunnar Olszewski, I agree, but put him in the damn game. He's only back there for punts. I mean, let's get him a couple routes.
Hey, let's talk about general managers, by the way, shall we?
Okay.
Jerry Jones had an incredible morning yesterday. I don't know if it was yesterday morning or this morning. He does like a weekly hit down there in Dallas for sports radio, and we've covered it more than a few times this year because the standard operation in sports talk show is obligatory Cowboys talk because Cowboys move the needle.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how you talk about the Cowboys, they move the needle. Jerry Jones does his weekly hit, and I think he made a pretty self-aware comment, which I think a lot of people potentially thought he had lost self-awareness. He said this morning about his Cowboys team of 2020.
I thought we had, personnel-wise, one of the best teams we've had. And so to give you an idea of where I'm coming from, now you say, well, that's part of the problem. We've got a general manager here that doesn't understand it wasn't one of the best teams we've ever had.
So he came out and said, hey, listen, you might say the general manager doesn't know what the team is, but I agree with Jerry. I think him as general manager, that team is pretty loaded.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody always wants Jerry Jones to mind his own goddamn business and get out of the business, and it's Jerry Jones' fault and all blah, blah, blah. It's like, if Jerry's just a general manager, I feel like he does a pretty good job. Drafts are always successful for the Dallas Cowboys. It feels like the team is always littered with talent. For whatever reason, the culture just seems to be a losing one. I don't know if they'll be able to turn that around when you lose your franchise quarterback. That's always going to be tough. He went on to say that availability is the best trait of anybody, and he has a lot of hurt players and everything like that. But unless Jerry is in McCarthy's ear all day, every day, with every single thing he does, it's hard for me just to blame Jerry Jones like everybody else does. Joining us now is a man who picked the Dallas Cowboys to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, fitness freak AJ Hawk. Yeah! Great shirt today, AJ. Jerry Jones had a little self-awareness. I don't know if you heard us there for a second. He said, basically, he thought this was one of the best teams they've ever had. And then he said, like, well, you're going to say that the general manager doesn't know that they don't have one of the best teams. I think they have been a pretty good team. And I like the fact that Jerry Jones is self-aware enough to know that people are bearing his general manageness.
Well, yeah, of course. He's trying to defend himself, I guess. I don't know. He's had a lot of talented football teams over the years, but it doesn't hurt. I guess it doesn't help when your guy Dak goes down after he was putting up 1,000 yards a game, it seemed like, and they were still losing.
How is it always Jerry's fault? Just because he exists?
Because he's so involved.
What is he doing now? What's he do? He does post-game interviews? Is that the problem? What does he do?
Well, doesn't it seem like he kind of runs the show? I mean, he and his son.
Yeah, but I don't know what all is it. The food they eat, the schedule, the day. Like, what all does he run?
Yeah, I don't know. Day to day, you'd have to talk to people that have played there for a long time. But I guess just because he's so he's the face of the team. Normally, the head coach is the face of a football team, but when it's the Dallas Cowboys, it's Jerry Jones. Now, is that did he have issues back in the day with Jimmy Johnson? Is that why did both of them want to be the face? I don't know how that all worked out.
I would assume that they did have they had a lot of success, and a lot of people say it's because Jimmy was able to tell Jerry, like, get the hell out of here, basically, I'll be able to run it, and they said that's why they had so much success, and then that potentially leads into a power struggle, and inevitably, if there's success to be had and money to be made, that seems to happen in every business. The more and more I learn about a lot of different situations. But I don't fully understand why Jerry always gets the blame. And it's because he's the face, I guess. So you just got to kind of point and aim at that. But for me, the teams are good. I always think the teams are pretty good.
You always feel like the Cowboys have a chance when the season starts. But I guess Jerry, it's like a quarterback. They get too much credit when they do well, and they get killed when they don't do well. Like Jerry, if you want to make yourself the face of the franchise and you want all the good pub when you win, then, hey, this is what you get when you lose.
Hey, listen, if I'm going to talk when we're winning, I'll fucking talk when we're losing, because ain't nobody else going to be able to sell this bullshit franchise like me anyways. Hey, Mike, go ahead and have another pie, Coors Light, get your ass back in the locker room and let me talk about this. We had a guy named DiNucci playing fucking quarterback for us. That's what he said a couple weeks ago. He was like, oh, everybody's talking about the situation in Denver. What about when we had that Italian boy play for us? And that was... I mean, he's awesome. AJ, thank you for joining us early here. I know you're a busy man.
No, not that. I'm not that busy.
Oh, this morning you were saving lives.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But I love that when you ask somebody, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm so busy, man. I got so many things going on. Like, I have no issue if someone's like, hey, so what do you have going on? I'm like, not much. I'm doing an hour show today.
No, well, today's an hour and a half, by the way. Thanks for giving us 30 more minutes. But this morning you were saving lives. We'll never get talked about, probably didn't do it for any credit. But AJ and his wife, who's an interior designer, go and just decorate a bunch of rooms and houses for people for free around the holiday season around Ohio who wouldn't normally do it.
Wow. AJ. That's awesome.
A to the J.
A to the J. I see you down there, brother. Yeah, that's awesome.
He's building a bed this morning.
Yeah, he was. He was an IKEA bed he was putting together this morning. You know what? That guy had no shot of figuring it out. Look at that brain right there, figured out how to put a bed together numerous times. Thank you for what you and your wife did for the community of Ohio, AJ.
Oh,
thank you, AJ. Thank you. Now, quickly, I would like you to help a community that is a very large one, I'd assume, AJ. Is that okay with you?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so there's a lot of us that, when the new year comes, it's like, hey, new year, new me.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to get in shape. And we are all having conversations. For you, what steroids or supplements do you take on a daily basis to always remain in good shape? Isn't that what we were
wondering?
That's the question.
A lot of us were wondering.
I love it. I love the first off, how you pose the question. That's exactly how they teach it in journalism school.
What's that?
Just accuse the person of doing something illegal.
What are you talking about?
Always good. when it comes to working out, man, everybody knows. Like, there's no secret. There's no secret pill you can take. There's no secret supplement. You got to be consistent. And that consistency is not only your workouts, but more importantly, if you're an older gentleman like myself, I'm 36, it's your diet. It's how you eat. That will 97% of it is genetics and diet if you want to be in shape.
How do you eat? Do you eat boring? Do you just eat ridiculously boring?
Boring. Yeah, people hate me. I'm super boring. Eat the same thing. Like, I'm not a foodie, if that's what you're asking.
So what do you'll just have like grilled chicken and rice every day?
No, I mean, it's not just like grilled chicken. Yeah, I eat a lot of chicken and fish, but yeah, not always like just straight up grilled chicken.
What about pizza?
Like, I eat carbs and stuff.
What about pizza? Like pizza?
Pizza's good.
Pizza's so good. Pizza's really good. Just eat it like once a week.
See, the problem here is we've had it 3-4 times a week here the last couple weeks.
Good every time.
It's been really good. I mean, there's a place local here called Kilroy's that they open up early for us to actually cook the pizzas for us. It's very, very nice thing because we got to get it in before the show starts. But what about like Chinese? What, you just eat once a week? You have one bad food thing a week?
No, I used to be more like, I guess, regimented or thought out. Like, okay, Saturday is when I'm going to have like a Rock, like The Rock does, like his off day or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be more like that. Now it's
sushi.
10,000 calories.
What?
I wouldn't choose sushi for like that cheat day. I know The Rock basically eats everything on that day. But yeah, everyone's different though, man. You got to know your body. You look good. What are you worried about? What's going on?
Well, I put on 15, 20 here in the last 2 weeks, and I want to. I've decided 2021 is going to be the healthiest me yet. But
Stop it.
Yeah, there you go.
What?
It is.
Like, okay, I had a strength coach. This is a great, and it I didn't realize at the time, but it would carry over into life. He would get up in front of us. I think I've said this on the show. And he'd say, hey, first day of off-season workouts, don't come here and tell me, hey, man, it's going to be a new year. This is it for me. Hey, this year, hey, I know I've been messing up and I'm late for the last 4 years to every meeting and workout, but it's for real this year. He's like, hey, don't tell me that. Just do it. Go ahead and show me because you know that's going to wear off in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Oh, listen, your strength. Listen, maybe that's part of the problem over there in Green Bay. Okay, strength coach doesn't allow you guys to get Toradol. You're not allowed to get IVs, and the guy doesn't fucking motivate. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear a damn thing about what you got going on. Just do it. All right. Which, by the way, I respect a lot of. But I think I'm not the only one though that thinks 2021. Me and Zito are about to get as healthy as we can possibly. Ain't that right, Zito?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Zito.
I didn't run out of breath that time.
No, he didn't. Now, he did get mocked earlier for running out of breath for reading something, and that was Nick. But we're in the middle of a time where we're not supposed to be in shape.
Yeah.
It's the holiday
It's
season.
the cheat time.
You're right. You're damn right. You got something, answer?
Yeah, AJ, I kind of have a question based off your expertise. I am also a 36-year-old male. Going into my New Year's resolution, is a water-based steroid better for me than an oil-based steroid?
It's a great question, man, Suri. That is something that a lot of people do talk about. What is your thoughts on that?
Which one's better for you?
I don't know the difference. I didn't know if they sell them both or however it works, but I mentioned this guy, YouTube channel, Free Pub. More plates, more dates. This dude is a jacked bodybuilder dude who breaks down. He gets so scientific with it, and he seems very, very smart, and he also reacts to videos and tries to see if people are natural or not, too. So it's very entertaining.
Wait, did he ever react to any of your videos?
He has not, no. I don't post a whole lot of workout vids, though, shirtless.
Do you think that guy is a monster, the more plates, extra weights guy? The thought, though, you have been...
More plates, extra weights?
More plates in
States?
No,
more plates. More plates, more dates. I don't know what more plates, extra weights.
He's not a competitive eater.
The more the plates there are, the more
weight
is.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to eat weights in 2021, bro. You ever heard of it? Maybe you should think.
Wait.
And plates of chicken.
See,
now you can't wait for me to talk about it instead of just be about it. But you have been accused of being on steroids on this show probably 10 to 15 times. Yeah. 10 to 15 times you have been. And every single time, by the way, you do an incredible job of being like, well, that's not me, but I do know what you're talking about, which I respect, AJ, by the way. I respect that a lot.
I don't have anything against it. I don't know how guys were taking stuff like that when they're playing with how much you get tested and how strict the testing is. But, hey, if you can slide through under the radar, good for you.
That's what I always said, too, when everybody, like my friends or whatever, we'd be intoxicated. And they'd be like, how many guys are just eating steroids in there? Like, you see guys, are they just on steroids? It's like, we get tested so much. And then you start hearing about, like the deer antler spray. And then so a lot of guys potentially hire scientists to be ahead of the testing program. So they know stuff that'll work that isn't yet in the protocol that you can't take. So they're like one step ahead, for instance. Like the deer antler spray, Ray Lewis wasn't the only person taking that, but that was something that was in there, obviously, whatever it was, and it wasn't getting tested for yet because the NFL scientists hadn't found out about it yet. So then as soon as the NFL scientists find out about it, it gets on a list and everybody's like, okay, now we got to go to another doctor that has something that isn't. And like, I think that happened, but those aren't the hard stuff because all the hard stuff is, so they're trying to find the little things that aren't being tested for yet to take advantage of it. If my conversations and observance from looking around at different people and situations is accurate, I think that's kind of how it works because guys do get tested so much. I know back in the day, people were probably just injecting themselves at halftime with steroids and shit like that, but a lot of that has changed. And I think the outside image, maybe people think like not as much, but it's damn near impossible, I think, to do it at this point.
Peptides, they're called.
What's that?
Peptides, they're called.
What's that?
That are untraceable in testing. You could stay on them all the time.
Peptides?
Yeah, there's like GHRP2, HGH fragments, stuff like that.
There goes the secret.
Fucking Gumpy.
Goddamn.
Is this Canada?
Hey,
is that more weights, super states? What's going on
More
back
weights, no dates.
What's going on back there, dude? So they're called peptides? That's like a genre of thing?
Yeah, and there's like 20 different of them for different things, but you can stay on them all the time, and they're water-based.
There's your answer, man, sir. It was right behind you.
Bingo. Water-based is better.
Even though you had to ask Canada. AJ, how many peptides are you on right now?
I mean, maybe I should. I don't know. I've heard people talk about peptides. I didn't know if they were that.
Listen, these conversations happen, obviously.
Yeah, you talk about peptides every day.
I have never heard of a peptide until
Rogan
today.
does. Hey, Rogan's been talking about peptides for a while.
Yeah, GHRP6 is the one.
GHRP6. What will this do to me? Will this make my head bigger?
How much should I buy?
Yeah.
It'll make my head bigger?
Oh, yeah. Why, you think, look at Rogan's head.
Bro, my head's fucking massive, dude. I don't need anything else getting in there.
I don't know. Mega Mind would be pretty sweet if your fucking head was
I just searched it. I got GoPro.
That's kind of where I'm at right now, though. I'm like a fucking sky cam if I get to that point. GHRP6? What is it even? Growth Hormone Repair Program, 6th time.
Growth hormone releasing peptide.
These fucking basic ass names.
Putting pesticides into your system.
No, peptides.
Oh, peptides.
Maybe you should get a little pesticide 6 or 2.
I think it might help me, actually.
All right, so that's what we're doing then, AJ? You doing that with us? These are legal?
What are they, Tide Pods?
Seems...
fucking don't go mute now, Gumpy. Jesus Christ. What the hell are we doing?
Oh, the expert back there all of a sudden. As soon as we need the real answer, all of a sudden.
Pleading the fifth.
Cat got your tongue back there, huh?
Depends where you are.
I bet we can get the good stuff in Canada, too, I bet.
Gee, well, Canada, you can't get in or out of right now.
We ain't going back there.
We've got a mule.
Gumpy's actually stuck. No, Gumpy would be the worst mule.
Yeah, can't go back, actually. They're legal-ish.
All right, so that's GHRP6. That's good news. So now we just got to find a black market for GHRP6. All right, we're on our way. We're going to have a good 2021.
Fucking
we're going to
hell yeah.
GHRP6. There's no way I put something that sounds like that into my body. There's just no way
I don't know. I'm picturing you wearing like a size 9.5 hat now with the fucking absolute
Look at my head.
Oh, it would be awesome.
Imagine my hair, too, if I grew it out.
Exactly. Think about it.
Size of the fucking shot. Will I be able to reproduce with this shit?
Yeah, growth hormone's really good for you. You can be on it all the time. It's not like steroids.
How would this be? Was this a pill here? This GH?
No, it's it would be insulin.
Just take a shot.
Diabetes.
Insulin.
Yeah, like an insulin needle.
Yeah.
Oh, like the thing I had to do for the
Barry Bonds. Yeah.
For the COVID. Oh no, it's what?
It's actual needle.
Yeah, I think it's a needle that you have to inject yourself with. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So my wife's not going to do that. She hates needles. I'm not going to just shoot myself. So, do you have anything else back there? Is there any other GHRP7 maybe that can just be a pill instead?
There's also GHRP2.
Oh, the second
What is
one.
this?
GHRP2. This is a little bit younger version.
Are these needles as well?
Yes, it is all.
Oh.
So how are your dogs?
Yeah, AJ, how do you do all your needle stuff?
I think so. Pat, it sounds like to me, for something to really truly work, you got to inject it.
I can't do it.
AJ, you have your kids inject you with steroids every morning?
That's why he has 7 kids, one for each day of the week.
Jeez.
All right, it's Monday. Come on. Steady your fucking hand.
Who's got GRH6 today?
Let's go to John in Texas. What's going on, John?
What's going on, Pat? How you doing, man? What's going on, boy?
Well, I just learned that I'm not going to be able to cheat my way to health, which is a little bit of a shame. But aside from that,
it's all hard work and dedication, Pat.
yeah, but I'm trying to skip that. You see,
Where do we buy that?
Come on, I was trying to skip that, John. It seems like there's no alternative. Says fitness freak, more weights, all dates. AJ Hawk. What do you want to talk about, John?
All right, I got two things to say, Mr. Pat. Number one, Juju finally got some sense knocked into him. I think there's going to be no more dancing on logos.
Okay, we think so too. Because Tomlin, I don't think because of anything else, but Tomlin's gone by with him. No more dance.
And number two, Mr. Foxy back there, I really don't like how you haven't picked the second team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to need you to expedite that process and get out of our fan base.
Hey, good call, John Donner in Texas. And that's the thing is, Foxy thinks he's just potentially in danger in Pittsburgh. Steelers fans are across the country.
Oh, yeah.
And they all hate him. And at this point, Foxy, have you thought about a different team maybe to get on in the playoffs?
Yeah, I could make the official announcement today if you want me to.
Come on.
Wow. Here we go.
Want me to go?
We're going to be off the air for a while. I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've been really thinking about this, right? There's a lot of good fan bases out there, right?
Yeah.
You know, Ty's Packers, great team.
Oh, they're going to get hot, too. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I love them.
Yeah.
You know, the Bills are making a run.
Oh, hey, did you see all their fans outside the airport?
Be a part of Bills Mafia. That'd be really
being a part of another mafia.
I talked about the Washington football team the other day. We love their team president.
Hey, Dwayne Haskins, by the way, went to a booty club, battled COVID. He's starting 6 days later.
Oh, I thought about the Saints down there in the bayou. You know, it'd be cool to root for Drew Brees and all them. And you know what? Then I really started to think.
Yeah, what about the Colts?
You know, I love the Colts. You know I love the Colts.
Is that who you're going with?
That's my second city. But I really started to think about the people of the city of Pittsburgh, all right?
Okay.
The people working the steel mill.
Yeah.
You know, the people working double shift.
Yeah.
The people working overnight.
What?
And I started to think, would they turn their back on their team? They're doing everything they possibly can to put food on the table.
They would not.
They would never turn their back. So you know what, Pat?
He's going to cry.
I'm not fucking leaving! I'm not fucking leaving! Holy shit! Here we go! Steelers! Here we go! Pittsburgh's going to Super Bowl! Here we go!
He said, take it to Texas and shove it, pal. I'm not going anywhere. I'm a Steelers fan to at least the end of this playoff run.
Oh, yeah.
Way to go, Fox. That's loyalty.
Thank you.
Nobody will talk about Foxy's loyalty, but that was some good display of loyalty there, Foxy.
Big bounce back game against the Colts this weekend.
Probably not. Probably not. Nick is leaving. Nick has left. No, he's
Oh, my God!
He's talking about it. He's got him in a rear naked choke.
It's Festivus.
Pittsburgh man has just beat the shit out of a fake Pittsburgh fan.
Wow.
Wow, that was intense.
Pandemonium.
Hey, he just tried to get a little grit. You know what I mean? He's trying to add a little bit of grit to you there, pal.
I think he's finally a Steelers fan.
And by the way, you keep wearing a hat like that, you will be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Or I think a little bit sideways, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's straight out of
Talking about like that.
Yeah, that's straight out of Pittsburgh.
I think Foxy may have just shit below his rust belt.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do there. AJ, did you say right before he announced he was going to stay with the Steelers, you thought he was going to cry?
It looked like he was getting emotional.
That clip is going to be a good clip, you know, and people watching on the internet. Right before Foxy says who he's not leaving or whatever, you know, AJ goes, "Oh God, he's about to cry." It's like such a good moment. I'm thankful for you doing that, AJ. So GHRP 5, is that what you go with?
Mm-hmm. How many different numbers can you put after
Well,
this GHRP?
I know there's at least 6. It's like you should have seen what COVID-12 did.
Jeez.
COVID-19 has definitely been the most famous member of the family, but people forget about old COVID-12. That son of a bitch retired early, but won hard. Is COVID-20 here? They said there's a new strain over there in Europe.
Oh, yeah. It's already mutating. We got plenty of COVID to go.
This thing's never going to end, dude. It's never. Maybe we need to give COVID GHRP 6.
No.
Nah, yeah, we do.
Well, then COVID's going to be walking around. I mean, you'll be able to see it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Get over
Instead
here.
of this son of a bitch hiding, you know what I mean, in the shadows.
You can actually, fight it.
Remember when they told us we couldn't make eye contact with other people because of COVID? Would jump eyeball to eyeball, AJ? You remember that?
I do remember that. That was early.
That was early. Man, there's some wild shit getting said by medical professionals.
Remember the Nets? I mean, they were netting people for a little bit.
It stayed on a hard surface for 14 days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
21 on cardboard.
Yeah, because the deliveries.
Beware.
Oh, man. It's going to be hard to explain.
Where are we with that now, though? Because I have seen people wear masks and gloves and walk out and wipe their boxes down before they take them in.
I don't know. I thought we were past that. All that shit kind of came and then just disappeared. So all the stuff that disappeared, I assume, was just found to be fake.
I think Big Cardboard actually came out and said that was fake.
Big Cardboard's like, no, we've run COVID through our facilities. Please just know that doesn't happen. But I still don't think we know very much about it.
No,
not
at all.
Well, it's mutating.
On a vaccine, right? A vaccine is shooting the actual virus into you, but it's just a little bit, so you create the antibodies.
Not
really?
Yeah, this one is not
This
like
one
that.
doesn't have that, no.
Yeah, this one's a little different.
I thought that's what vaccines were.
No,
That's
this,
what the next one
this one I
is.
think is the mRNA. So you basically get injected with the blueprint of what makes up the virus.
Oh.
So that your body knows what to look for if the virus should happen.
Error.
Oh, yeah.
My body's stupid. It'd never be able to figure it out.
What is that?
My body's a dumb one.
COVID-19 already, switched it up on them too, so they
Crossed
don't know
them
the
over.
blueprint themselves.
I got tested for the antibodies the other day, too. I don't have them. I thought for sure I would have them, but I don't have them. What's
Everybody says that. How many people do you know that say, "Oh, hey, back in November of last year, you remember when I was sick? I was coughing and I had a runny nose, I had a dry cough, and I was very fatigued. I definitely had it. Like everybody assumes they have it, and everyone that has told me that got an antibody test, none of them have shown up with any antibodies.
Well, who's saying we're wrong and not the test?
Yeah.
Well, I think the antibodies only stay with you for a little bit of time, don't they?
Yeah.
Riddle me that, AJ.
Come on, AJ.
How you didn't expect that to come flying back in your fucking front door, did you, pal?
Take that.
I mean, you're right. We have to take if you have one positive test, you have to take 13 more just to confirm that positive, don't you?
Yeah, yes, you do, actually. Yes, you do. Shout out Tone, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out Tone. Hopefully Tone has 16 negatives and we don't have to worry about that. I'm worried about old Tone.
Me too.
I think it's still got his flavor and his smell there or whatever.
Wait, did he go down?
He said he wasn't feeling good. Said he wasn't feeling good at all. Going to go get tested, the whole thing. I was right. He was around somebody a couple months ago that tested positive for it. Foxy had a false positive there.
I did. It sucked.
Yeah, he locked in his house, told him he couldn't come in. That's how we've been handling. We do some contact tracing. Got to do what we got to
do it.
But we are a pretty social distance operation. So like if Diggs ends up not saying he will, but if he does, let's hope he survives, by the way. But our office, we all kind of, it's been pretty cool. I think it's kind of helped out our office, to be honest with you.
Spread out.
Yeah, it's kind of moved out a bit.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of has their own designated area where you don't really cross over. I mean,
Maybe people will call to have us speak about how we handled this whole thing.
really is the ideal group on how to handle it.
Yeah.
No one thought we were going to make it this far.
We'll put the goddamn stethoscope on, too, if we have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pat, I'd love to have you and the boys on to speak at my next conference.
Oh, Fouch.
Hey, have you, Pat? So
Hey,
you
Fouch.
telling me? Do you guys have one of those special UV disinfectant lights for that water pipe out there?
Yes,
No, well,
yes,
we actually have
CBD,
enough. We
whatever.
actually have enough. It's a CBD pipe.
I know.
But at this point, it seems like everybody who potentially does dance with CBD pipes, they have their own at this point.
Yeah.
That is it looks like a collector's kind of shelf out there, which isn't great. Also now that I think about it.
What are you gonna do?
We could open up a shop, though.
Bingo.
I mean, with everything.
Everything must go. As soon as this thing ends, everything must go. We'll do it. Let's go to Pat up there in Buffalo. What's going on, Pat?
Hey, boys. Was that Boston Connor talking all that shit about the Mac?
Yeah. It was.
Hey, Boston Connor, buddy. Listen here. Haven't you heard of Ben Roethlisberger, Khalil Mack?
Hell yeah.
Coming out of the Mac? And we got a good running back up here in Buffalo. Patterson here, he looks like he's going to go in the draft too.
That's right.
What do you got to say about all that?
What do you got to say about that?
Oh, okay, well, how many of you guys watched Khalil Mack when he was at Buffalo?
I did.
Oh,
I was watching a lot of film. You see him come off the edge.
What number was
He
he?
had a good lean.
What number was he at Buffalo?
55. Bro.
Oh, yeah. See?
52?
No, I mean, like, what number was it? You got a computer. Not at Buffalo.
Yeah, he was so good.
I think he was 11 at Buffalo.
The thing about it is Julian Edelman literally gave you
Yeah.
All the happiness in the world for years.
Yeah.
Kent State Golden Flash product. And you just spit right on his legacy.
Well, here's the thing about Julian Edelman. He played quarterback there. So even if I was watching, I wasn't really watching Julian Edelman.
46.
Tape. Yeah, he wasn't. So
he's number 46?
He's number 46.
That's the MAC,
a
baby.
shit number,
Well,
huh?
well, that's the MAC. It's a terrible league, like you just said. They give their best players the worst goddamn
But
numbers.
if this guy is lined across from you, you are scared.
Yeah, you just
You
can't
no.
see it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you just fucked it up.
There it is.
Hey, I'm not saying they got bad players. I'm saying the overall product is dog shit.
AJ, hour 2's wrapping up. What did we learn here in this hour?
I don't know. I didn't hear Connor's rant on the Mac. But
He was rude. A lot of people call in this show and thank us for our positivity. He was the complete opposite about the Mac on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, but Connor would know. Connor could list out off all the. It's by far not the worst league in college football.
That's basically what he's saying.
Well, what is that?
I don't know. Like, what all the conferences are there? Sun Belt's out there.
Oh, so you're
West.
saying Sun Belt's worse than Mac?
I don't know who's in the Sun Belt.
Fucking
I'm just saying
Louisiana Lafayette.
a league overall.
Coastal Carolina, dude.
Jeez.
True. You're right.
Hour 2's wrapping up. If you're watching or listening to this show, what the fuck do you got going on? We're back in hour 3 on the other side. You got about 6 minutes. We'll see you then. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At?
See, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. No,
What is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which, what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard. And 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with the goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches, 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak, 1997, they said it. 2014. Do you remember when Ebola hit? It was like, it was literally...
Hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece?
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff?
It's
got to be time traveler.
Matt Groening is a time traveler. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998, they said it. 2017, it happens. The Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot Librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-Eyed Fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-Eyed Fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall, planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, yeah, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening, and guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans.
I'm a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here, Wednesday, December 23rd, 2020. Hour 3 of the Pat McAfee Show is about to begin immediately after this beat drops, which means the music will change right now. Thank you to Twine for that beat drop. Today is Wednesday, December 23rd, 2 days before the Vikings play the Saints on Christmas Day at 4:30, right in the middle of the NBA lineup. How you doing? Cuck you moving. That is kind of what the NFL did to the NBA there. In other storylines, the NFL will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. One of those games will be the Pittsburgh Steelers playing against the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. Going into that game, the Steelers are on a 3-game losing streak, and the Indianapolis Colts are hot. Ben Roethlisberger is looking to make a stop to that by calling a players-only meeting today. Whoa. That's right. Ben Roethlisberger called a players-only meeting today in Pittsburgh as of Mark Caboli. Ben Roethlisberger said he called a players-only meeting, but it had nothing to do with the 3-game losing streak. It had everything to do with the veterans to talk to younger players. He made sure to reiterate it had nothing to do with the losing streak. Shout out to Ben Roethlisberger for telling the media that he called a players-only meeting, because that's what players-only meetings are all about. Ain't that right, AJ Hawk?
Yeah, but okay, if he says it's not about the 3-game losing streak, are you telling me if you didn't have this 3-game losing streak and you were undefeated, this meeting would still happen?
Well, Caboli's tweet did not lead into if there was any follow-up questions or anything like that, but Roethlisberger telling the media, hey, I called a players-only meeting for veterans to talk to younger players, is definitely in response to Mark Madden losing his mind about there are no leaders on that team. There's only older players and younger players. And I would assume that if Roethlisberger legitimately just found out about Juju dancing on the logo, Ben Roethlisberger would potentially be like, oh, God, we can't be doing that. Let's figure it out. But those players-only meetings are always hilarious. Sometimes I guess they work. A lot of the ones I've been a part of are always a clusterfuck. But the fact that Ben Roethlisberger's trying to take a little bit of ownership of this team, I do like that because the Steelers, Evan Foxy, Nick Moraldo, Tone Diggs could potentially go on a run here.
I guess, is it a Zoom players only meeting? Because that would be even way worse than the players only, like in person.
All right, everybody get on FaceTime. The team's on Zoom. We'll go on a FaceTime. We don't want team officials to watch what we got going on. Yeah, I guess that's how it would have to be, huh? It would have to be a Zoom call. Everybody come in, shut the door. We don't want family in the room either. This is just for us. You know what I mean? This is just for us. Boys, what are we doing? Roethlisberger probably leads off. You've seen I've given up everything for this game.
Literally. Giving it all away.
Everything I loved.
Like what?
Lotion.
Hell yeah.
Tissue paper.
Boys,
Socks.
what did they say? Who said it? And who? I bet you Cam Hayward spoke. And I assume as soon as Cam Hayward spoke, by the way, everybody listened. I assume that is one guy on that team that as soon as he speaks, everybody listens. Let's assume Ben Roethlisberger spoke. Okay, who else? Juju spoke?
Yeah.
Probably he's the veteran, though.
Pouncey probably spoke. By the way, if Pouncey speaks, I'd assume everybody listens. Juju's the oldest guy in the wide receiver room. Did he speak? And were they speaking about Juju? I wonder that whole thing. Or are they just talking about how we need to turn this around? That team looks miserable. They look like they don't really like each other. That is a big sign on whether or not a team's going to come together. Tom Pelissero will be joining us in about 20 minutes. Hopefully he'll have more on the players-only meeting because, you know, that's the type of thing that's good for players-only meetings is whenever the media finds out about everything that happened in the meeting. Because then it's truly a players-only meeting. Ain't the right A to the J.
That's absolutely right. I just I wonder if the only way the Steelers can find a way to turn this thing around is if they all they have the whole deal where they come together and just they want to kill everybody on the planet because they feel like, hey, it's only us in this room that believe in us. Everyone else has doubted us even when we were undefeated. Now they're completely down on us. They say we're missing the playoffs. So let's go out there and prove everybody wrong. Like that's maybe what came from that players only meeting.
Good speech.
Wow. Boy. Thanks for Jay.
A to the G, brother. I saw what you just did there. You just motivated the boys. You did. That was a motivational speech right there. But you're right. The coaching talk and the messaging and the cliches are considered cliches because they've been said for so long because normally they're 100% right. The whole thought that nobody outside of these walls believes in us is real in a lot of situations. And in the Steelers, that would be one of those situations. Now, can you get the players to care that nobody outside believes in them? That's the next obstacle. It's like, do you have a group of guys that hear that and they go, you know what, fuck everybody, let's go for it? Or do you have a bunch of guys that are like, well, to be fair, I mean, they are pretty accurate, the people outside. You know that those are two different things. I've been a part of a couple players-only meetings. I guess one of them has worked. Guys kind of bought in. The messaging wasn't too lengthy, too wordy, too long. Too many people spoke. But usually those things become like, I couldn't even imagine on Zoom, just the unmuting of a fucking picture. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, this fucking guy. And then somebody else pops unmuting. Oh, this guy. I couldn't imagine how. But every once in a while, one of those can really kickstart a whole team. Maybe this will be it for Ben Roethlisberger and the boys over there in Pittsburgh.
Who are they playing this week?
Colts, tough game. Colts are hot right now, too. Colts also feel like a team that, you know, is embracing where they're at right now. They like their squad. They like their plan, the vision, everything like that. It seems like they are going like this. In the Steelers, before this Ben Roethlisberger meeting, we're going like this. Now, are they going to plateau? Okay. Are they going to slow the curve? Or are they going to turn that son of a bitch back around and go back up north? Evan Foxy, the only Steelers fan we have today. Yeah. After Nick, hurt himself, giving you a rear naked choke.
Yep.
How do you feel about the Steelers having a players-only meeting, Foxy?
Yeah, I'm very curious if veteran leader, first-round draft pick Eric Ebron spoke to the team. My confidence is absolutely through the roof. I think they come out and they destroy the Indianapolis Colts. A little bit of a revenge game for Eric, if you will. So that's where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, because he was sitting on that Zoom call saying, hey, these guys,
yeah.
I told him I didn't want to play there anymore, and it wasn't really a glorious ending over there, okay? Right. And last week I got carted off. This week I can play. Know that we're coming out and we got to do some damage here. This is, hey, our livelihoods depend upon this, and my legacy depends upon
Bingo.
this.
Look for a big game out of Ebron this weekend.
I like
Whoa.
it. I like it.
What are you looking at?
That seems like one of the most condescending remarks I've ever heard in my entire life.
At least 100 yards this weekend.
At least for Ebron.
Whoa.
At least.
Is he okay? They said he should be okay was the
Should be
last word.
okay.
That was the last medical diagnosis was he should be okay. Nick, real talk, as a Steelers fan, when Steelers fans hear, as an actual Steelers fan, by the way.
Thank you.
Not that Foxy isn't.
Whoa.
But as an actual Steelers fan from Pittsburgh, and how do you think the fans take to hearing that the team called a players-only meeting, Nick, if you thought?
I think a lot of people are probably fired up about it because they don't have the insight that you guys have. To a lot of outside eyes, that probably looks like, okay, finally, some accountability from the players. But like you guys said, it may just be that type of I don't want to say virtue signaling, but that type of meaningless gesturing, like, hey, okay, we talked about it. We're going to put an end to it.
All right, so they go, coming to the Zoom. No, you can stay on the mic, Foxy. Yeah, come on, go back to the mic. So they would just go, all right, coming to Zoom for his press conference, Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger comes in and goes, how's everybody doing today? Before we get started, just want to let you know I just got done with the players-only meeting that I called. Go ahead and ask your questions. Is that how this came to be? Is that how this came to be? How does that, how does that even? I fucking love Ben, dude. This guy is just awesome. You remember what he was talking about? I came back because I love my offensive line. They love me. The team's so good. Because he is, if you look at his numbers in his resume, he's a Hall of Famer for sure. Not even a question. But, boy, he never gets talked about in that light ever, ever, ever.
Why not?
Well, I do believe it's because off the field I fucked up a little bit. Go ahead and ask your questions.
That's a long time ago, though.
Long
time ago, man. People get over it.
Well, do they?
I don't think so, man.
people don't forget.
The internet is still. Let's go to V to the J in Iowa. What's going on, VJ?
Hello, Pat.
Hey, what's going on, VJ?
Hey, man, good, man. How are you? How are you and AJ and the boys doing?
Hey, we're good, man. What do you got going on over there in Iowa?
Good, man. Hey, yeah, shout out Ty, Waterloo.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Oh, yeah, Hawks big W last night. A little revenge game after back, getting beat by Gonzaga, but...
Yeah, I saw you guys were in the top 7 or whatever.
Great anyways,
yeah,
sorry.
Lost,
I'm actually a Fizz fan. Go, Pat.
What'd you say, pal? I'm sorry about that. I was talking shit on the Hawkeyes basketball team. And that kind of explained why I was doing it earlier in the show about how, just like to. They're probably pretty good.
They are. No, my bad. Yeah, just shout out Gump, too. Go Fins over here in Iowa representing.
Hey, here we go. Go Fins,
eh?
Go Fins. Hey, go.
Actually, a question about the Vikings. How have we not talked about this week with Justin Jefferson? Big fan, obviously, of the show, too. He's just saying, fuck Kirk, throw the fucking ball.
Oh, yeah. VJ, thanks for bringing it up. We were going to try to dance around that, but Justin Jefferson had to come out and talk about this, Al. He said, I ain't no diva or prima donna or whatever, but there's very clear video evidence of Justin Jefferson throw the fucking ball, Kirk, or something like that. And you actually see his body tighten up while he's yelling, so it's not like it could be anybody else potentially out there that's saying it. And I would assume that the reason why Justin Jefferson came out and said, you guys need to relax is because he and Kirk probably have a pretty good relationship where Kirk probably understands Justin Jefferson pretty well. Now, I might be completely wrong. Maybe they don't. Maybe Kirk is like, hey, it isn't like that. But I would assume Kirk and Justin Jefferson have a relationship where he could say that to him. And I would assume Kirk would be able to do the same thing back. And that's why Justin Jefferson felt the need to respond. But boy, on the internet, you got a lot of people immediately going, oh, Justin Jefferson is rookies yelling at Kirk Cousins already. I mean, that was a wide, great clip. I loved it. But I saw the internet just start to burn down around the whole thing.
But don't you think stuff like that happens?
Yes.
Maybe not every game, but it happens a lot. And it happens the other way, too, where the quarterback can yell at the receiver if he runs the wrong route, and then 3 seconds later they're over it if they have a good relationship.
Well, it's just like sometimes quarterbacks and centers get in a little bit of a fight on something.
Yeah, why don't you just block, Jeff?
Yeah, Peyton and Jeff have pretty notorious. These types of things happen, So in my first reaction was Justin Jefferson and Kirk must have a very good relationship. That was my everybody thought it was the opposite. In my eyes, I was like, oh, it seems like those two must get along really well if you're saying that. Because you're not just going to say, hey, fuck you, basically, if you're not friends with a guy. So that's good news. In my eyes, it showed a sign of chemistry as opposed to something else. And obviously, the year he's had has been unbelievable. But boy, the internet got loud around that. And it's probably because with Stephon Diggs last year through the helmet, there's a whole moment there between, and all that stuff. It's like, what's going on out there in Minnesota, dude?
Oh.
They're gritty, Hey, they are gritty.
Having fun.
They are gritty. Let's go to Cole in Charlotte. What's going on, Cole?
What's going on, Pat and the boys? It's a beautiful, sunny 60s day with Queen City.
Oh, son of a fuck you, Cole. Hey, Cole, we don't need you rubbing that in our face, all right? It's 26 degrees outside. Come on.
Dude. Well, look, man, hey, I'm just blessed for this kind of day because today, guys, I got news that I tested negative for COVID.
Hey,
right?
me too. Hey, me too. Me too. Yeah, we had a big day today. Yes. We had a big day today.
Big day. Well, I got a case, a conspiracy Wednesday case to bring to the PMI courthouse, and it has to do with Trevor Lawrence. All right, I feel like the NCAA and Clemson might be conspiring a little bit against Trevor Lawrence. Exhibit A obviously has to do with him getting COVID. I mean, and just that leading to now there's really all this perpetuating, say, oh, Trevor needs to come back for a year to avoid the Jets or the Jags. And the biggest part of this that I really wanted to bring to the courthouse here is there's no talk of him winning the Heisman when he's so obviously the most outstanding player in the country. But they're talking about Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, and these boys, which nothing against them, but Trevor's the best player to come out of college since what? Andrew Luck, John Elway, whatever?
What?
What's going on there?
Oh. So what are you saying, Cole? I wasn't paying attention mostly because we had to get a sidebar on there. You're saying that Trevor Lawrence is coming back next year?
What I'm saying is I feel like the NCAA and Clemson have been feeding maybe some stuff to the media, to get him to come back or piss him off or something. Just like this whole talk about him avoiding the Jets or pulling an Eli, and then now not even giving him any respect of actually giving him the award that he should win.
Got it. Okay, Cole. I could see Dabo potentially doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hey, this guy's the best quarterback. DJ Uiagalelei, who's a pretty good player, but he's not the Trevor Lawrence guy. Maybe Dabo is cooking the books a little bit behind the scenes to keep his golden pony on the squad for another year. What do you got there?
Best thing to come out of the draft since Andrew Luck.
Go on.
He got absolutely dog-walked by Joe Burrow last year.
Oh, jeez.
Ayo.
Jeez Louise.
Gumpy.
All right, you can take this down.
No, I like that. That's why I started laughing in the middle of that guy's question, whatever he was saying, because I was reading it. What, Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, these are Zito's. This is Zito's, by the way.
Haskins apologizes for no mask while having some cheeks in his face.
All right. By the way, we already talked about that.
I should put a check on that.
Yeah, let's go to Brendan in New Jersey. What's going on, Brendan?
How's it going? I just want to say this show has been so amazing over this whole quarantine. And as a Jets fan, I really wanted to get first overall pick. And Mekhi Becton said after the win, if you wanted to lose, or you're really not a real fan. So I just wanted to know your reaction about that.
Well, Brendan, did you want him to lose?
I did.
Oh,
okay.
So Mekhi
Very
Becton,
bad.
who's going to be a staple of that team for a long time, a very good tackle, he hates you, Brendan.
Probably does.
Whoa.
And if I met him, I wouldn't want to see him because he's a big man and he could probably take me out.
Probably, if I had to guess, Brendan. Probably. I
You got
appreciate
the
that.
edge on him, though.
Yeah.
It is right. There's nothing the players inside the locker room, like, you have to expect that on them, by the way. Every player in there wanted to win, okay? Every player in there, even if they were a rookie that was probably going to be around for the next 5 years, they did not want to continue to live in the life of misery that they were living, which is a completely defeated squad. It is no fun. It is terrible. I would assume they are very pumped to win, and that's the culture that you want to have, by the way, with players, is that they want to win. We have some breaking news here. Jets fans, by the way, good luck with everything. I think everything's going to turn around. We have some breaking news here out of @Brian Batco's Twitter account. We don't know who that is, but we do know he has a blue check mark. He says that Juju Smith-Schuster has come forward and said, for the betterment of myself and my teammates, I'm going to stop dancing on the logos.
Wow.
My God.
Players only meeting. Ben Roethlisberger pieces that whole thing together. All right, so here we go. Juju Smith-Schuster no longer dancing on logos for the betterment of myself and my teammates. Ben Roethlisberger just came out moments ago and said that they had a players-only meeting that he called earlier today. Was it Tomlin who spoke to Juju, who came out in the media yesterday and said, I'll have a conversation with Juju? Or did Tomlin potentially Zoom call Ben Roethlisberger and say, hey, Ben, I know you've been staying off the internet, okay, for the reasons of your right arm and everything like that, but I want to let you know that Juju's been dancing on logos. I don't want to have to talk to him. You guys should talk to him. They call a team Zoom. They all go into the Zoom, and I bet you they all just like, hey, Juju, this is what we think. We need to do this. We need to do this. Juju comes out and says, I'm not doing it anymore. Look at this. This is a team coming together. Maybe the Steelers are coming around. Ooh. Maybe it wasn't the Evan Foxy curse. Maybe it was. A team got off the rails a little bit, and they got back on track. Good for them. Good for Juju. Juju Smith-Schuster on Zoom right now as a Brian Batko again. For me, honestly, I was dancing when we were undefeated. I was dancing when we lost our 3 games. I'm not going to change the person that I am. It's getting to the point where my teammates are being asked this question. My coaches, he's going to have another tweet, ... That was it?
Then he issues the apology.
And then he says he's done with it. Okay, so yeah, he's done being a distraction for other people.
Man. What about his
Foxy's clapping?
God, I can't wait until week 17 where he doesn't just hits him with a psych in Cleveland.
Wow.
Just said, fuck you guys, I'm still dancing, and then just chops him.
What if he's on IG Live before the game? Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not dancing. Look at these shoes, though. I'm not dancing. Chase, hold this.
Yeah.
And then he gets like 6 balls. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, my God, it'd be awesome. Hey, it'd be a good heel move.
Yeah.
It would.
Very good.
Be good heel move. What do you think about all this, AJ?
Don't you think we're going to get to the point in the NFL where during right up until kickoff, they're going to have like velvet ropes around the logos and you're not going to be able to get near it?
They're definitely going to do that, aren't they? They definitely are. If they were painted, by the way, I would even feel weird like punting and kicking. We would like go off. It was just, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's an unwritten rule. It just always felt weird for some reason. Now, in high school, I did it to a soccer team, another high school, scored a goal, one in the middle of that thing. Right on it, you know what I mean? Had to do it. I'm an asshole. I was an asshole. That's on me. That team sucked, and that team was a terrible group of people to me, very rude to me. My mom couldn't even go to those games because she hated how rude the kids were to me, you know what I mean? That type of thing. But there's just always something to it, you know? It's just like an unwritten rule almost. And I don't love unwritten rules. I kind of hate them, but that one just feels like, you just kind of feel weird, you know?
Was your locker room in Indianapolis? Did you guys were you not allowed to walk on the logo?
No, our locker room wasn't big enough to do that. I mean, it was. Small.
I never had that. I never had that in Green Bay. Cincinnati didn't really have it. They don't have a logo right in the middle of their locker room, I don't think. But I know I had a long stint in Atlanta, and I walked on the logo first day. I'm like, I don't know, man. I never done. What are you talking about?
What's this, a bird? No idea. It ain't a hawk. Is that what you said? Did you go in just like, yeah?
Fuck it.
Is that what you did?
Exactly what I said.
Ian Rappaport is reporting. Washington football team QB Dwayne Haskins' captainship was taken away following his COVID-19 violation that included being photographed at a strip club without a mask. His teammates had voted him a captain in camp. This is part of the internal punishment for Haskins.
Man.
Give me a C. C, you got your C. Oh, man. This is awesome. This is the biggest league on earth, the best league on earth. Full soap opera right now.
Yep. Yeah.
We got no more dancing on logos. We got faces and butt cheeks without masks, so you don't have a captain anymore. Okay? We got players-only meetings. And we got Tom Pelissero to figure it all out on the other side.
Yeah!
This is Pat McAfee Show. Cannot wait to hear from Tom. Have a great Wednesday, December 23rd. If you're choosing to never listen to us again, have a great holiday. See ya. I was on a team that was very bad at football. We almost were completely defeated until Dan Orlovsky showed up and got 2 big wins. We ended up almost losing the luck pick because Dan Orlovsky, everybody thinks they're going to get fired. Every player thinks they're going to get cut. Every coach thinks they're going to get fired. They try to pawn blame off on other positional groups. If it's the linebackers, they're like, we did our job. D-line can't do anything, can't stop it. There's a lot of that chatter, but it's a miserable existence. I mean, it's just the way it is. That's why you have to have so much respect for a player like Joe Thomas, who played a perennial all-pro career in a situation that was so negative and so terrible. I think if Joe Thomas got a chance and his knees let him experience a winning organization, organization, I couldn't even fathom what Joe Thomas would have thought. I mean, life is just much better whenever you win. When you win, food tastes better. Drinks taste better. Sex feels better. Everything is better when you win. Winning cures all, they say. That's not just in the building and for a football team. That's in your life. Everything is just better when you win. And when you lose, especially when you're talking about some of the most competitive humans on earth, it is a nightmare. You got a lot of people trying to jump off the ship. You got a lot of people trying to figure it out. And whenever you're in a situation like that, it's just a full-blown nightmare for everybody. You got to think, when you get to the NFL, let's assume that the humans that make it to the NFL have had a lot of success through their lives. Mm-hmm. High school football, probably one good player, a guy who's going to make the NFL can lead a team to success. In college, if you have a couple good players that can make the NFL and make it to the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins stink, you're still going to make the NFL. Let's assume that team has had success. So then you get to a completely unsuccessful operation, a completely defeated operation, and then it's like, man, this is a whole new life for us. I'll never forget, I had a coach, special teams coach. I won't say his name because this is a terrible thing to say as a coach. We lost the game. It was back in the first regime. We were a good team. We lost the game, and everybody was moping. Like people were not happy that we lost the game the next day. He was, you guys just haven't lost enough. That's what he said. Everybody looked at him and was like, yeah, no crap. What are you talking about, dude? Yeah, this is the winningest decade in NFL history here. Yeah, you haven't lost enough. It's like, you've lost too much, maybe. Are you just comfortable at this point? And that's whenever it can get a little scary. Whenever people are just comfortable just getting their asses kicked every week, that could be a problem. That's when the culture is probably a lost cause. That's when the locker room's too worried about playing dice or playing Boo-Ray or anything else like that. When that starts happening after losses, then you know you're in a bad spot. And I would assume that's not happening at the Dolphins, especially under Ryan Fitzpatrick's watch. But maybe it is. I don't know. But that is a miserable existence. I am not a fan of that.
Manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people...
The Pat...
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, yeah.
It's a heater. The song's a heater. Don't Leave Me Lonely. Late night special band. They sing songs good, don't they?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Couple updates on what we talked about before going to break. Juju Smith-Schuster's quote in his Zoom call was, "It's to the point where my teammates are being asked about it. My coach is being asked about it for the betterment of my team. I'm going to stop dancing on the logo." So he's done with that. Allegedly, the Ben Roethlisberger players-only meeting was not a panic players-only meeting, and it might not have even been a players-only meeting. Okay?
Jeez.
To figure this all out alongside myself, AJ, and the boys, we have a man who has one of the greatest Christmas cards in the history of the goddamn holiday. From NFL Network and NFL.com, Tom Pelissero.
Yeah!
Hello, Tom. Tom,
boys,
before we get into it, can we please talk about that Christmas card that hit the internet about 2 weeks ago where it looks like, by the way, you haven't aged a single day. You look amazing. And that face, what happened here? Was this on purpose, obviously, for comedic purposes? And what did you win from The Tonight Show for being on their little sweater contest thingy?
they sent us an even uglier sweater. That was the prize. Was just like an extraordinarily it was like a triple XL. Like I don't know if I'm supposed to hang it on the wall. I clearly can't wear it. But my wife does that every year. Comes up with some different thing. This year's was Home Alone themed. I show up, I do my part, I pose for the photo, play the character, That's my contribution.
Well,
He's got the Photoshop and everything else handled.
I would assume your face is potentially one of the big reasons why you got that XXL sweater. So congratulations on your performance. Congratulations on
The old 1,000-yard stare right there.
Yeah, it's something for sure. Let's talk about what's going on in the NFL right now, Tom. Pittsburgh Steelers just got out of their Zoom calls, and allegedly Ben had a players-only Zoom. Then it turns out that wasn't a panic players-only Zoom, and then now allegedly it wasn't all the players-only Zoom. And then Juju Smith-Schuster's done dancing on the logos because his coach is getting asked about it. What's going on in Pittsburgh, and is this what you would think a team that's potentially about to make a playoff run should be dealing with at this exact time?
Well, one of Mike Tomlin's greatest strengths as a coach has always been allowing guys to have personality, allowing them to be themselves, giving them, a long leash, so to speak, but still being able to get them out on the field on Sundays. Remember with Antonio Brown, I mean, for years, there was a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes that the Steelers were just kind of dealing with. And again, he gives guys different amounts of slack. Obviously, Brown was a really good player. That one came to a head because of another social media thing, which was him pulling out his phone in the victorious post-game locker room and catching Tomlin in the background talking about what they were going to do to the Patriots the following week. That was the one that kind of was a tipping point there where they felt like then they had to do something about it. And that was in the course of a season where Brown had taken penalties for jumping on the goalposts and twerking and all sorts of different things. But Juju Smith-Schuster, it's not, he's not getting penalties. He's not getting fines. I can't tell you what's exactly is happening on Zoom meetings or in the locker room or whatever is going on. But certainly here, this got to the point where this became a driving storyline. I mean, we really should be focusing on the fact the Steelers just haven't played well. I mean, for 3 weeks in a row, they have played bad football.
Bingo.
That's clearly been, sticking under Mike Tomlin's tongue this entire time. He doesn't like what he's seen. But then the fact, as Juju said, that now everybody's being asked about this other thing that really has nothing to do with what's going on in the field. I mean, listen, I know what Von Bell said after the game. I know what some of the players the previous week said. Like, you're not going out there and going, I wasn't going to hit Juju before, but now I think I'm going to hit him. Because you had a little extra juice, sure. But the fact that that's even being part of the storyline here about a struggling team as they're trying to right the ship, it only makes sense that Mike Tomlin would have a talk with Juju about it and allow Juju himself to come to the conclusion that maybe it's time to tick-tock on his own time.
Tom, by the way, I definitely believe you over two NFL players that said that was different. But you're right. I listen to you over them every time, obviously.
You would – so A.J. Hawk – at times, so you go out for a game, and sometimes you're like, I don't really want to hit that guy today. But then you're like, that dance I saw, I want to hit him now. I'm curious, what is the psychology?
I want to let you know we are on your side on this show pretty heavily, but I just had to take the shot at you there for sure.
Yeah, I'm on your side too, Tom. I would actually, I would ask the other question, like if Juju dancing and it upsets the other team, that could possibly help the Steelers because guys are so jacked up to try to hit this guy. They're going to try to hit him late. They're going to hit him in the head. Cause a penalty. Hey, maybe it's a big third down conversion you get because of it. I was like, it could also work for you.
I mean, I was watching the early stages of that game the other night, and just because the Bengals, whatever it was that motivated them, and I think that if you look at all the guys that they're missing, Lou Anarumo, who's their defensive coordinator, has done a heck of a job over the course of the season, continuing to play hard. They played really tough against some good offenses, but just with the amount of physicality in the early stages of that game, I was thinking this was back, in Bengals Steelers 4 or 5 years ago.
You know why?
Back and forth with Juju and Vontez and Brown and all those guys.
Well, that's because he was chopping them on the goddamn logo, Tom. I mean, don't listen to us. Listen to the guys on the field. But no, we're on your side this whole thing. We think it's all been blown out of control, ridiculous, but it is something that whenever you step on somebody else's logo, like there should be something you feel a little bit. And if Juju doesn't, by the way, he's a pest. All right, cool. If he wants to be loved by his team, hated by others, do whatever you got to do. Let's turn our attention to another.
By the way, the Steelers are one of the only teams in the league that has a logo in their locker room that you, if you're a visitor like a reporter, are not supposed to step on. A lot of teams don't have it. Green Bay, I know there's a huge logo in the middle of the room. You almost have to walk over it, but there's a very short list. It's not like the NHL where you got velvet ropes around it. I mean, most places, it's not a centerpiece locker room. Pittsburgh, there is a logo, and you don't want to go near that.
Well, the Falcons have one as well, and AJ just took a dump on it the first day he got there. So.
Accidentally took a few steps, Tom. Didn't know about it. I was in my 11th year, and that was all new to me. I never heard of not stepping on the logo.
Okay, all right. So I'm happy we cleared that up.
Not really a football thing.
Let's clear something up here with the Washington football team. Dwayne Haskins lost the C. To be honest, him having the C on was intriguing to me whenever they decided to no longer play him, because it felt like he got benched out of nowhere. And then there was rumors that there was something happening off the field. I was like, well, if he's not working as hard as you want, or you don't think he's as committed as enough, how did he get the C? And I guess the players voted the C on him. Now, after what happened with the booty cheeks and his maskless face the other day, he has lost his C, and Washington is in quite a situation. Tom Pelissero, do you have anything to expound upon that?
I mean, add that tweet and that news story to the list of things that I've put out this year that have felt like parody as I'm typing them, but it's just kind of the universe that we're living in right now. I mean, Dwayne Haskins, you go back to the beginning of the season, listen, he's a young quarterback with a new offensive scheme. He didn't have an offseason. It was going to be a challenge for him. I know there was a lot of back and forth about the reasons he was benched, but what happens in the week or two after that? You know, he gets busted at the team hotel for trying to bring a visitor in, which is not allowed under the COVID protocols, gets confronted by Ron Rivera, is not immediately upfront with Rivera about it. He gets fined for that. Now you fast forward, and only because of a crazy series of circumstances with Kyle Allen get hurt, then Alex Smith getting hurt, does Haskins even get another opportunity to go into the game? So he's, hours removed from a post-game press conference in which he's talking about throwing a couple of interceptions, one of which was admittedly a really bad interception by him. And he's then, getting photographed in a strip club without a mask on. I mean, these are things that you just think should not happen, much less among one of your captains, a guy who's at a leadership position like quarterback. It's a situation that obviously the Washington football team and Ron Rivera have been dealing with here, stripping of the C. I would expect there's going to be additional discipline beyond that. They're not going to release the guy, though, and they're kind of in a spot where they're trying to win the NFC East. If they don't play Dwayne Haskins and Alex Smith isn't ready, you're talking about Taylor Heineke starting a potentially pivotal game coming up this week. I mean, it's a really delicate situation because of the stage of the season that you're at. If this happens in May, maybe this goes a totally other direction. Who
was it, Tom?
It's no caller ID. Every time I'm on this show, I get no caller ID calls. It really is. It is impressive. But yeah, if this played out at a different time of year, maybe everything plays out differently. For Dwayne Haskins in Washington, maybe your options are different. In this case, Ron Rivera's number one goal is protect the team here, give them a chance to win on Sundays, and he still thinks. All this aside, Dwayne Haskins gives him the best chance to win. It's understandable that he's not ruling out right now the possibility that Haskins, if Smith isn't ready, is going to be the one to go.
Tom, are there any coaches out there that people feel like right now are definitely going to get fired in a couple weeks that may hold on to their job?
Well, there have been, obviously, there's 3 openings right now, AJ. There's a few others that, we've heard perpetually between the Chargers, the Jets, the Jaguars. Those are probably the top 3. It would be a surprise in any of those cases if any of those coaches held on to their jobs. Certainly in Jacksonville, they want to give, there's at least a possibility that Doug Marrone could be back. He had a team that was really stripped down this year. They've used the second most players of any team in NFL history in terms of in games this season. The only team that used more was the 2019 Dolphins. So they've had a lot of different challenges, several different starting quarterbacks. There's circumstances there. In terms of, I don't know if there's a lot of other guys who you're thinking are definitely out that are suddenly going to save themselves at this point.
How about Nagy?
Well, I mean, they've won the past couple of games, and the quarterback's playing better. I mean, they got a lot of questions in Chicago because you were still committed financially to Nick Foles in 2021. You declined Mitch Trubisky's option. If he plays well over the next couple of weeks, now what do? Do you come back and somebody who's option you decline? Do you transition tag him? Do you try to assign him? Do you totally start over, bring in another young quarterback at the position? Would the Bears ownership even let Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy do that? There's a lot of questions there, but the fact that they've started to win some games, that probably would be the one. A couple of weeks ago, you just watched how much they were struggling offensively and how many games they had lost in a row. But this is kind of the unique nature of the NFL, is that a team that looks so bad for such a chunk of the season, and all of a sudden, if they win their next 2, they very well could be in what is, remember, an expanded playoff field this year to 14 teams.
Tom, you cover the NFL so well for so long, and you're dialed in every single day, literally only talking about NFL and insiders and stuff. And this is our first year on Sirius full time again. We're covering it day to day. Is there always this much dramatic bullshit going on? I mean, has COVID picked this up? The Juju thing, then obviously the Dwayne Haskins stuff, and then the Deshaun Watson stuff, and then earlier in the year the players that let a battle in Houston, and then
the Wildcat strike.
The Wildcat strike. Is it always like this, and I just haven't noticed, or is this year just amplified everything?
Well, a lot of things you just mentioned were COVID things. The fact that you have these protocols, and so naturally you have controversies that, evolve from people violating them. I mean, the nature of social media, that's definitely a factor in it too. And it's also it's a chaotic environment. I mean, I've been talking to, GMs over the past week who are asking all sorts of questions about different things, even that are going to be happening in this next offseason. And at this point, they don't have answers on what the rules are going to be or the scheduling of certain things. This is a league that runs on such a schedule. I mean, coaches will budget out the entire year in January. Know exactly when every OTA is going to be. Everything's going to happen on time. Now everything's up in the air. I think that, things like last night, we get a memo, or the teams get a memo, and then I got it at 6 p.m. saying, so normally you can't interview head coaching candidates who are employed by other teams until the day after the regular season. We're going to change that. And then starting tomorrow, you can interview them now on Zoom. And I was texting, coaching candidates, agents, teams, and everyone's just going we have no idea. It's completely chaotic. Some of the teams that have vacancies kind of been given a heads up. Some new rules are going to be coming, but those are the things that just change overnight. And this goes all the way back to free agency and the draft, where you were having literally day to day things that were different. Rules one day, okay, you can conduct the draft remotely as long as it's not in your facility. You can go to another location. So teams start setting up in their stadium or in hotels or whatever. And a week later, there's another memo that, we're not going to allow that now. So now you got to go and do it in your house. And everyone's well, we just rented office space, or we just moved all of our massive TV screens and our digital boards over to this other place. You're telling us we got to move them again? And the NFL is just deal with it. I mean, that absolutely has just lent this. Even if you set aside the positive test, which is of course a serious issue that everybody's dealing with in the country, and those numbers have plateaued for the NFL over the past few weeks since they went to the enhanced protocols, the intensive protocols, closing facilities Monday and Tuesday, masks required at all times. But even setting that stuff aside, it's all these other ripple effects that you don't anticipate, and they keep changing the rules, not because they're being unfair. I mean, Broncos fans went through the roof on Saturday when I tweeted out another memo that came out saying that, so after all year where we said if you join a new team, you have to go through 6 days of testing. Well, now if you get released, you can go to a new team as long as you don't miss the test. You can go there the next day. So if there's another situation where all the quarterbacks get wiped out on a Thursday or a Friday, you can sign someone off a practice squad and start them on Sunday. Kendall Hinton doesn't have to go out there and do it. And everyone's well, why? That's unfair. It's life's not fair, and COVID's not fair. So figure it out. And that's what everybody in the league, including me, has been doing for 9-10 months now.
Tom, are all these things being put in place and just kind of thrown at you just to prepare for the postseason, and they don't want a team to all of a sudden get to the NFC or AFC championship game and they can't field a team?
And will they delay a game?
Well, they don't want to delay a game. So AJ's right. That's definitely part of it here. And it makes sense, okay? If you're saying, because the rule says now you have to fly private. As long as you fly private and don't miss a test, then you can basically continue yourself in the protocol rather than starting a new 6-day window. Smart. And that is absolutely because you were going to have situations where a team would find out on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, too close to game time to get someone new, that they don't have someone at a certain position. And now you have no options. I mean, none. That's the spot the Broncos were in. Was that their own fault? Yeah, to a certain degree, because you had a maskless meeting with all the other quarterbacks before they knew Jeff Driscoll had tested positive. But they want to give people
Whoa.
We'll get him back. He's probably watching. He's just
who was it?
Being a jerk. Doesn't matter.
Kind of does.
You're trying to give teams options. Absolutely. They don't want to delay a game. They're not going to start going, well, your quarterback's not available on a Sunday, so we're going to push it to a Tuesday. Unless there's a medical reason, an ongoing outbreak, which we've really only had on a large scale, 2 of those the entire season, Tennessee and Baltimore. They're not going to kick back the games. And we've talked so much about 18 games and going to a bubble.
Who is it?
So caller ID again.
Jerry?
We've talked so much about 18 games, the bubble, and all this stuff. And here we are in Week 16. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
we are like 46 days or something from the Super Bowl right now.
All right.
Like, I don't want to say we're out of the woods, but like we're very close to finishing an NFL season, playing every game, not messing anything up, and being able to get this thing done.
You're talking about not messing anything up. I was a person that actually another caller just came through there for quickly. I was somebody that completed the substance of abuse program. Okay, so any alcohol or drug-related charge, you automatically go into the substance of abuse program. I got drug tested 8 times a month for 27 months. Okay, anytime I left Indiana, I had to call and report where I was going. I had to give them 2 phone numbers they could reach me at. I was tested at all hours of the night. I went for 27 months, cold turkey, stopped everything. Wasn't allowed to be seen with a drink even because of the alleged incident that occurred for me. Okay, and I made it out the other side, and that normally doesn't happen with how rigid the program is. It's very difficult to get because if you just slip up one time, they're going to get you. You're back in for another year at least. It's something that you're not supposed to get out of. Josh Gordon has been in the substance of abuse program for 10 years now at this point. It felt like we were potentially near a return for him, especially because I thought the rules were that you would no longer be suspended for a game if it was a marijuana charge. Even though they could fine you, they would no longer suspend you games. Now it's coming out that Josh Gordon has failed something, a protocol. He's not allowed to rejoin the Seahawks and play. What was it? What is the rule? And will we see Josh Gordon playing football within the next few weeks, or is this like a he's done for the year type thing?
For players who are currently not in the advanced stages of the substance abuse program, you no longer can get suspended for a positive test for any drug. Okay, no matter what it is, not just marijuana, it's anything.
Street drug?
No more
street drug
suspensions. What's that?
Street drug, not performance enhancing, right? You're talking about street drugs.
Street drugs, yes.
Got
Sorry,
it. Okay,
performance enhancing is still 6 games, but street drugs, okay, substances of abuse. There are no suspensions for a failed test, and even under the previous substance abuse policy, which I think was enacted around 2015, it was really hard to get suspended for marijuana. You had to fail, like, I want to say it was 5 or 6 tests.
6
over
times.
a period of time. I mean, you were way into it. There were multiple warnings, right? And then you had a certain fine schedule, and then eventually you would get a 4-game suspension. That's gone. The difference with Josh Gordon is he's conditionally reinstated from banishment, and he has been banished multiple times. I think it's 3 times now. He's actually been out for minimum 1 year. So he's in this different area where he's being conditionally reinstated, and the league, and specifically its medical experts and the administrators of the drug program, Dr. Lombardo and company, can set out guidelines on here's the things that we need you to do. So what I can tell you is that Josh Gordon had a setback in his long-running battle with substance abuse and addiction. You can connect the dots to what that means, but he had a setback with his battle. And so as of now, he's not suspended again. He is back where he had been the previous couple of weeks, where he is conditionally reinstated. He's allowed to be around the team. He can do meetings. He can do individual workouts. He just can't practice or play. Now, that puts the Seahawks in a tough position because they've really put everything on hold for, 14 months here with Josh Gordon. He played for him, of course, at the end of last season. Something tragic happened with his brother. That led to, I was told at the time, a relapse. He ended up getting suspended again last December, misses time. The Seahawks loved him as a person. They wanted to help him. They stood by him. They maintained contact and continued training in Seattle. They signed him around the start of the season, August or September, I think it was, for this season, anticipating he was eventually going to get reinstated. It did not happen because there were ongoing issues and things that the league was looking at. So it didn't happen after 4 to 8 games, which is kind of what everybody involved thought it was going to be. But then the word came down. Gordon got in direct contact with Roger Goodell earlier this month. Goodell gave him another chance. Okay, here it is. You got 2-3 weeks, whatever it was, where you can be around the building. And then if you follow everything, then you're going to be able to come back and practice and play in week 16. And I can tell you this, as of Saturday, when I checked in with this, he was fine. This was something that just popped up to the point that on Monday, he was out of the conditional period. He was back on the active roster. There was a decision made Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning that because of this setback Josh Gordon had, that he now needed to go back onto the exempt list. The Seahawks were alerted first thing yesterday morning, which for them, they also had just cut a guy Now they don't know if he's going to clear waivers. Can you get him back? They had cleared a roster spot. They thought he was coming back. They were going to integrate him into the program, probably play him this week. Supposedly he's in fantastic shape, low body fat. He looks great, even though he hadn't, practiced at all. And instead they find this out. And so, everybody involved, I talked to a bunch of people last night. Everybody involved wants to help Josh Gordon. It's just, this is like the third or fourth year where you've had an issue with Josh Gordon at this same time of year, right around December. And it's just becoming more and more difficult for the people involved, just from a football perspective. They'll continue to help him, but from a football perspective, knowing that it's just not something where he's been able to get himself onto the field and stay there.
I'm bummed for him. I'm super bummed for him. It's nice to know that there's a chance he could still make it back, though, after all his hard work. AJ, you got a question for Tom here?
I just want to know quickly if Tom thinks that Josh Gordon's going to play in the NFL again.
It's such a difficult question, AJ, because we've been down this road a number of different times with all of his suspensions going back to the first one was around 2014, 2015. There have been so many bumps in the road. He's so supremely talented. I think he's still only like 29. I mean, he came in at such a young age. He had that monster season, and then it's just been, one suspension after another. The Browns, the Patriots, the Seahawks all giving him chances and second chances and third chances and not being able to turn it around. I mean, again, it's not that people don't want to help him. It's not that people don't like Josh Gordon, and they know. I mean, addiction it's a disease. It's a serious thing, and that's what he's battling here. In terms of football, again, this is indefinite at this point, and indefinite doesn't mean forever. It just means they don't know. They haven't been told by the league when potentially he could be back. So the Seahawks will have to make a decision. Do they keep him in the building, try to help him there, even though you got all these other guys who are preparing for games, and that's not necessarily going to help them get ready. And then the question would become, he's on another one-year deal. Does anybody sign him in the offseason? Does Seattle want to get back in the wheel again here and hope by next September or October, November, December, he can come back? These are complicated football questions with a guy who, frankly, football has not been nearly the least of his problems.
Well, I hope he gets it figured out, obviously. Tom, every time you come on, you're amazing. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Hey, you're going to break some news probably here in the next moment on your Twitter account
Well, I just missed 3 calls, but yeah, hopefully.
Josh Gordon reinstated.
I do it for you. I do it for you.
Is Josh Gordon reinstated maybe? Maybe that was the no-caller ID. We don't know.
Wouldn't hold your breath on that part, but possible. Anything's possible.
From NFL Network, NFL.com.
Hell
yeah.
Tommy!
There you go. Woo! I love Tom, man.
He's awesome.
He just knows everything about everything. AJ, while we were talking there, Boston Connor threw a golf ball at me about 60 to 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost bruised my hand while the whole thing was going on.
Well, so I threw one of the candidates tins to Nick the other day while we were recording the pod hosted by Tone Diggs, the other podcast, and I wanted to make sure I got it there. I didn't want to, soft arm it.
Yeah, I mean, you threw the shit out of it. AJ. AJ.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm bummed about Josh Gordon, dude.
Why don't you look into the camera, man? Come on. Show the fans what they want.
Well, I don't know if I could do that. And I'm on a pretty good little run right now. I am legitimately bummed for Josh Gordon, though.
Absolutely.
He's so good. He's so good at football. And I was trying to ask the boys off air there when Tom was on full screen. Like, is it weed? Is it alcohol? What do we know what it is, or has that never gotten out? Because the last time he got suspended, they made it sound like it wasn't just substance of abuse drugs. It was also potentially performance enhanced. Like, what is it? Do we know any of that information, AJ?
I don't think we know anything. I mean, usually the only thing the NFL will give you is if someone got popped for substance of abuse or performance enhancers. Like, that's the only difference they'll give you. They never really name it. And with Gordon, anything. Yeah, he's in a weird spot. Like, is he grandfathered into the old system where now he will get in trouble more? I don't know.
Yeah, because it does take like 6 fails for you to get suspended. And I knew that whenever I got, baptized in.
Oh, wow. Holy
what? Guys. Wow. Substance abuse program was a problem, though. I mean, that thing was absolutely terrible. And they set it up for you not to get out of it. But you do know, like, you have to have, like, 6 fails before a suspension comes. But I think, like, 2 fails before another fine comes. It's very interesting. And that Lombardo guy, he is villain A, B, and C for a lot of guys that are in that substance abuse program because his name comes at the end of it. I mean, it helps a lot of people, but his name is associated with it for a lot of
So 27 months is the minimum, is what you're saying. What you got was not standard?
27 months is the minimum. But
it is?
Yeah. Well,
Jeez.
I got put into phase 1 when it happened, and phase 1 is just like phase 2. And even if you do phase 1 100% right, they're going to push you right into phase fucking 2 for another 24 months.
Good God.
It was a little bit of a conversation between me and old Lombardo. And I think he punished me with 8 tests, the max amount of tests every single month. Because I tried to, this is when me and the NFLPA started hating each other, by the way. So I was getting tested 8 times a month. And I'm like 15 months into this thing, 16, 17 months into this thing. I haven't missed a single check-in, haven't failed a test, nothing. Haven't missed a substance of abuse counselor meeting that you have to have once a week. Like, I've been doing this, trying to get out of it because I know everybody is kind of locked into it forever because they make it very difficult. Like calling in 2 phone numbers to be reached at, where you're headed to, like everything. It is you have a PO basically, and you have to have a meeting once. I mean, it is a lot, And like 16, 17 months into this thing, I was like, I feel like I'm doing right. I'm still getting max tested. Like, is it supposed to? Well, if you do it well, your testing should drop down or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I'm getting tested 8 times. They're like, well, wait for next month. Next month, 18, same thing. 19, 20 months into this thing, I'm getting tested 8 times a month still. So they're like, oh, you should reach out to the NFLPA or whatever. So I obviously reach out to the NFLPA. I'm like, hey, I'm getting fucking like railroaded here, I think, by this substance of abuse. Is there any way you guys can help me? 3 months later, I got a text back that said, you good? And then by that point, I only had like a month or 2 left. So I was like, I am good, actually. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for all your hard work over there. You know what I mean? It was very nice. It was very nice of them. And I was a big fan of the NFLPA ever since that moment. I bet you could imagine.
It sounds like the PA got you out of the program, though. You text them, they go to work behind the scenes for 3 months, bam, you're out of it.
No, that was actually my entire sentence. They just kind of, I think they potentially knew that I had that long left, and they were like, we'll just wait until his out day, and then we'll try to make him be friends with us. I was not, by the way. I was not.
Bullshit.
It was tough. I got tested at 4:30 a.m. in the hills of Georgia after hunting for Bigfoot. I told you guys that story.
That's right, yeah.
That was awesome. The guy that was piss testing me, I've been doing this for 20 years. I ain't never been called out to these woods. What did you say to Lombardo? So the guy told me, I was like, I questioned his doctorness, I guess. I asked him what type of doctor he was. I mean, it was, it turned me around, though. Turned me around. I'm not,
Haven't touched the stuff.
Yeah.
Have you?
Never since.
I don't know. Whenever you have those counselors and you go talk to them, right, and they're all like, oh, yeah.
Playing this in the background.
This is a great song. But they've all done like super hard like the super hard stuff. And then I'm there because I was, hammered drunk one night. At the beginning, it was hard for me to take serious, but boy, the stories we would share with each other, I actually kind of looked forward to them.
Yeah.
But they do make you feel bad to drink for like the rest of your life. They're like, let's teach you exactly what's happening to your body, your brain, and everything whenever you drink. It's like, all right, maybe you scared me. You fucking got it. All right, we're out of serious here in like 10 seconds. You got anything, AJ? No. Have a great Christmas. Have a great holiday. Linda Cohn is next, the legend.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's next on SiriusXM.
Linda Cohn?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. I've done her show. Like, Linda has hosted shows I've called into and done interviews on.
Okay, because I saw the email that said, and I was trying to think of the name. Linda is a legend. Like,
That's awesome.
Linda Cohn is an absolute legend. She's hosting right now for Chris Mad Dog Russo, who's out for Christmas, the holiday. Mad Dog Unleashed has been tamed for the holiday.
Bring in Linda.
Bring her in. Will somebody
Pat,
turn on that show to hear how it's going?
You know how tough it would be to be a caller here into the show? Like, I know you don't notice it. Like, I see it. So someone calls in, they start, like, before they even begin their question, you're making comments and gestures to all the boys. They're commenting back to you. The guy continues to talk. I'm trying to pay attention. And then you say, oh, I'm sorry, bub. What was that question? I didn't get you. And it happens with almost every caller.
Not every caller. Today was worse, okay? Today was much worse than normal. But you're right. I got somebody tweeting me, told me to stop speaking over my callers. And I told that person promptly to shut the fuck up. Hell yeah. And I wish I could have responded mid-tweet from that guy. So I could have let him know. But, sometimes we got some things to clean up while that caller's happening, okay? Somebody else is talking, so now that we got some shit we got to clean up real quick. It's like a break in the middle of the show. And normally I can hear it, but whenever they start going on a deep road, I kind of get lost in the tracks, you know what I mean? So I try my best, but today I was a little bit. I mean, we got a 3-day weekend coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had a 3-day weekend, or 4-day weekend. I'm sorry, 4-day weekend coming up. I haven't had a 4-day weekend in years, so I'm a little bit jacked up, pal.
If you're a good caller, you fight through it, my friend.
Yeah, Gumpy was such a good caller. He's got a job here.
Is that how it worked, really?
Yeah. American dream to do is painting ships.
Oh, yeah, Dumpy.
Damn, good for you, Gump.
He was a
Thank
good.
you, AJ.
Hey, Dump was a good caller. Though.
Oh, the best.
Every time he called in, there was good energy. You should see. He's hosting Hammered Don today.
Yeah, this should be electric.
He's hosting a podcast today. The guy was a caller. Now he's hosting our gambling podcast because Tone Diggs is at home not feeling well.
With
gotta make
Dwayne
sure,
Haskins, with the hotel and then the butt cheeks as well.
Oh, yeah.
How hard do you think it is for a young NFL player to find love in 2020?
Well, you can't.
It's very difficult.
You get screenshotted anytime you send a DM, right? You see these dudes just get ruined for sending DMs to anybody.
Zion, yeah.
Can't really meet in person because you're not allowed to go out in public. It's got to be tough for these guys to find love. You know what I mean?
Nobody talks about that part of it, Pat.
That's because they're not humans. They're Madden scores. Fucking go and get it, boys.
You ain't finding love in the titty bar, I'll tell you that much.
If we weren't in
been
COVID,
there.
would this be a big problem still?
What's that?
If this was just a normal season, but they just saw him out at the strip club?
No. No.
Probably be some of the captains with him.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say that when Tom was like in a leadership position, I'm like, do we know if anybody else was there? Was Dwayne paying for the boys? You know what I mean? It's a little bit different story, I think. Yeah. AJ, what do you got going on? Are you a lot of gifts?
Yeah, Christmas. I got to put together a few things tonight, I guess.
You did build a bed this morning for somebody. By the way, what a hero.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, to the J.
helping Hawks.
It's a lot easier than these. I got these like what are they, like, not Power Wheels, but like a little Jeep or something that kids drive around in. Those are not as easy as you would think to put together.
Hey, those things are awesome though. That is kids will love those.
Great gift.
Yeah, great gift. What's the big gift of the year for the kids? Because there's always one big thing. Like what's that one where Arnold Schwarzenegger's neighbor's trying to fuck
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man. That one year that
Tickle
was
Me Elmo.
way back in the day. There's always something each year. What is it this year?
It's got to be the PS5,
Yeah,
the
the
Xbox combo.
Did you get your kid a PS5, AJ?
No, I'm still trying to give the 2 away to fans of the show.
Well, we did find one for you. So we're at 4. We definitely have 4 PS5s that we are giving away next week. We will find the names that we'll give away.
Oh, yeah.
The 5th one, a lot of question marks. We have gotten bamboozled twice.
Yep.
We have sent money to 2 people
Scammed.
that did not give us real PS5s. So it's hard out here on these streets, dog.
Getting 4 is a miracle.
I sat on the online waiting line list for an hour with Zito one night, and then he just said, "All right, it's over."
See you
Sorry.
later, dude.
Zito was doing that in the office every day there for like 5 days. He was recruiting other people. He had more computers, and every single time it was like strike. But we got one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We got one out of that thing.
go!
So that's one of the 4. Zito's persistence paid off right there.
Baby Z.
Hell yeah.
Zito. Hey, Z.
¿Qué pasa?
So I wore this shirt for you today,
Bear Don, I saw it.
strictly because I want to know, do you think, are the Bears going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course.
All right, that's the show.
Bear Don. AJ's a fan.
Merry Christmas.
That's the best Christmas gift ever.
Merry Christmas, AJ. Hammer Don is in 29 minutes. Zito, what's the poll?
Yep, it is. Who should win the NFL MVP right now? Last place, Derrick Henry, 11.3%.
Win the what, bro?
NFL MVP.
Okay, nailed it. Shit.
Did I mess up again before that?
Yeah, you just kind of.
AJ just hang up.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. What happened?
Last place, Derrick Henry, 11.3%. Josh Allen, 14.5%. Patrick Mahomes, 23%. Aaron Rodgers, 51.2%. Rest them.
Yeah, that's our guy. Woo! That's our guy, AJ.
You say rest him?
Yeah, you gotta rest him.
I don't know. You think he wants to rest?
I think he should.
But if you rest and you get a bye, it's a long time,
We
man.
went too close.
Yeah, I was trying. I'm the fucking worst host of all time today, dude. I got nothing to do. I just.
It's raining.
It's raining outside.
You can hear
A lot
it.
going on.
I mean, the Bears stink. Like AJ,
What do you
you're
mean?
saying, are they going to win the
Yeah.
Super Bowl? It's one of the most egregious
We're
things.
gonna win
ever.
Super Bowl.
You're not going to win the Super Bowl.
What do you mean?
I mean, you know what? Khalil Mack
Turn to the Mac.
could maybe carry that team with Mitchell Trubisky playing football the way he
Big
is.
Mitch.
Could you fathom if the Chicago Bears go on a fucking run here?
A lot of
fucking
people be
stink.
biting their
Oh
tongues.
my God, the NFL would be the best.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
yeah. Greatest league ever. Whoa.
Exactly. That's why if they were to, it'd be awesome. Just because of
Yeah.
what you just said right there. So matter of fact.
I hope so.
You better bite your tongue.
I love the underdog story.
All right, before we get out of here, Hammer Don is in 27 minutes. Gumpy's hosting today with myself. I assume numerous guys will make appearances and Michael Lombardi because our guy Diggs is at home. Please enter on Twitter to win one of these Arby's bricks. There's 2 already won. We have not announced the winners, but we do have their names in the chamber to announce. $500 Arby's gift card, 10 $50 gift cards. All you got to do is tweet hashtag Arby's is great with a space and then 4 numbers. You can enter up to 55 times.
Whoa!
Let's go. AJ, I don't know if you realized this or were listening earlier. Apparently, it's a lot harder to match 4 numbers than we originally fathomed it would be.
Difficult. I think I asked you that when we were trying to come up with ways to pick the numbers. Like, well, it's not a guarantee we're going to hit the number.
So Twitter told us we had 9,000 entries yesterday on Twitter. And going to bed last night, there was zero winners, okay? Woke up this morning, 2 winners. Hopefully by the time today ends, there'll be 2 more winners so we can overnight these things. They won't get them before Christmas, obviously, because we miscalculated how this would go, but at least get it before the new year. Going to 2021 with 500 big ones at the greatest fast food restaurant of all time.
Hell yeah.
All right, AJ, we appreciate you, man. Have a great Christmas. See you next week.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Hey, that's the show. See you.